himself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Newhoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down in towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's allowed to have fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there as they're really bunching up now.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it. Medeiros is going to toss it. Haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's up on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we are here for the Racers Elite Mixed Series Round 1 Gen 4s live from Talladega. I'm James Parker, going to be joined in the booth by the one, the only, the Mr. Mighty Dean Biggles here as well, who's going to bring all the camera action here once more. Guys, we are on for a mixed series. The cars in the series will be Legends 434 Coupe, NASCAR Cup Gen 4s, NASCAR Wheeler Modified, Super Late models on the asphalt. In the dirt, it will be Dirt Midgets, Dirt Street Stocks, and Dirt UMP Modified. Some of the tracks that we're going to will be Williams Grove, Stafford Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Lancia National Speedway, Atlanta, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, South Boston, Thompson Speedway, as well as the Chili Bowl doubleheader on the 13th of January with the North Wilkesboro on the 20th, Southern National Motorsports Park on the 27th, and then Eldora on the 3rd. On the 10th of February is LA Coliseum, and then we round out the season with the Gen 4s at Daytona. It is no championship points, guys. It is literally all for bragging rights. That is it. Fixed setups. It will be here this evening as well, and it's going to be a very interesting evening. 100% fuel capacity, free green-white checkers if needed, free fast repairs for everyone, 4 sets of tyres in the pits. It's 94 laps. iRacing calls all the cautions, and there's no championships. It's all about winning. It's just straight up winning the race and then bragging about it after as well to all of your happy friends in the Discord. It's a very interesting series, not one that we've been involved with previously, but it is one we will be involved with this time. So let's see how it's all going to pan out as we have entered into qualifying here once more, and we will bring in Dean Biggles into the booth. Good evening to you, sir. How are you?
Good evening. Absolutely great. Talladega, of course, isn't it? One of the best tracks you're going to find in all oval racing here for the Racers Elite. And yeah, James, I'm excited to it. It's bragging rights, isn't it? Absolutely bragging rights. Well, bragging rights are bragging rights. Who wants to be the fastest driver? Who wants to be the quickest driver? And who wants to be the one to conquer the tracks of all tracks? And basically, what, kiss Nicole Kidman? Or was that Daytona? It's one of those, isn't it?
I don't know, to be blatantly honest. To be fair, I'm not quite sure who's going to be kissing who at the end of the day.
James, I can tell you one person that knows Talladega better than anybody else, so we've had the luxury to come into the casting booth, is the man himself. That, well, Jacob, if you are here, my friend, welcome, because you know this track better than I think James and I do, because we're kind of like road course gentlemen. But are you here, sir?
Yes, sir. I am here, and I am live and in prime time. Dean, appreciate you bringing me in here. And I mean, you know, you was just talking about this Talladega Super Speedway. I mean, what's there not really to say? I mean, everything that is Super Speedway racing, that is speed, it's right here at the Talladega Super Speedway with 2.66 miles in length right here in beautiful Talladega, Alabama. More like a home track for me, I guess you could say, because I've been going to this track ever since I was a little kid and always had a lot of fun with it. So, I mean, it's going to be a very exciting race, but I'll say this, Dean, as well as I'm sure everybody else out there that's watching knows this right here. These guys have got to watch out for the big one. It's the multi-car wreck that always plays for super speedway racing, always ends up taking about 15 to 20 cars out. And these guys got to be really, really careful with that, especially in the draft, trying to run 3 wide, 2 wide, even 4 wide at times. I'm telling you, man, I appreciate you bringing me in here because this is going to be a fun one to call right here.
It will certainly will. James there, real quick. Of course, the boss man himself supports this fantastic network. That was the first time you guys, gentlemen, have met there. James, did he fight all words there before you probably get you to lay your head down there very, very early in the morning there in the United Kingdom?
Yeah, it's nearly 2 a.m. for me, but I think to be all in all, it's going to be very interesting with the Dega circuit. One of the things, obviously, when we're coming off that banking, they're going to be how they're going to plan to come off there as well. As you said, Jacob, earlier on, 2, 3, 4 wide. 4 wide probably isn't going to be working. I don't think they've got the width or to run this, and if they have, well, they've got to be having the, they've got to pick them up and stick them in the pocket, if you know what I mean, to be able to make sure that they can get round there cleanly. I think Dega is one of these circuits that basically can provide great racing, but boy, oh boy, can it provide that big one? Can it provide cautions all the way through? Absolutely it will as well. I'm going to leave you guys in the capable hands of Jacob and Bigglesville this evening. I'm going to bow out and get myself some sleep. Have a good one, boys, and I'll catch up with you all soon.
Yeah, you heard it live there, didn't you, Jacob? So, well, the boss man needs rest. He's been casting so many races here today, and then always casting many, many races here on the JP Broadcasting Network as the drivers are now starting to complete their laps. 51.79. Are we looking at a tie? We are, between Corey and Dennis Kane.
Yeah, I mean, that is very, very common, honestly, Dean, for these guys here at the Super Speedways racing. I mean, usually it's very common for it to be very close on the time. I mean, look at the times right here. Literally from the first spot, from the pole spot, all the way down to 16th. You're looking at about 0.2 of a second. Well, make it all the way to the top 15. You're looking at 0.2 of a second. That's right at blinking eye. That's eye blinking speed right there, Dean. That is how fast that this is going to be. That's how close that this race is going to be. So I'm telling you, Dean, I mean, this is, like I've said before, my personal favorite type of racing, just because this is the kind of racing that I have grown up with as I was a kid. And I love this stuff, man. I mean, I absolutely love it. I always used to love to come down here in the spring, come down right outside of turn 4, actually right out there off of I-20. They had a free campground right there pretty close to the Talladega short track. And that's where me and my dad and, a bunch of family members, a bunch of friends, we'd all go out there and we'd party or whatever, and I mean, it's kind of just a vacation, I guess, for the family, friends and everybody. But as you grow older and then you get married and everything else, that fun time kind of goes away a little bit. But I mean, that's why I love this kind of stuff right here, because like I said, it always brings me back to my childhood. But I was always here for a lot of great races that happened here. And Dean, I know I'm probably going way over here, but I mean, you look at the likes of drivers that have raced here in real life, like Jeff Gordon. Dale Earnhardt's got the most wins at this track in the NASCAR Cup Series. I mean, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jimmy Johnson's got a couple. Brad Keselowski, who is actually still racing in the NASCAR Cup Series. There's him. Kyle Busch, he's won a couple of times here. A lot of great names, but check this out, Dean. This track can really get crazy, especially in the closing laps. Usually, we end up having a photo finish at the end of these damn things.
This is exactly the reason why we pulled you in very last minute. And thank you very much for flying in here, my dear friend, because, I was talking to James and going, hey, if you want somebody that knows everything there is to know about trucks around Talladega, you need Mr. Jacob. And James was like, oh, well, let's get Mr. Jacob in here. So you got you into very, very last minute. We're still seeing some drivers at the moment doing this at last bit load qualifying. But hey, we have an expert on board here, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. We have an expert. And on top of that expert there, Jacob, because once again, as a small kid, you know this track like the back of your head. How's those times that Corey Cornwall, for example, is doing with a 51.8? Is that around the times that you've seen from some of the best drivers in esports?
Yeah, I mean, give or take. I mean, this is like the Gen 4 series, or car, if you will. And usually, the Gen 4, if everybody's looking at this car, they're thinking that, well, wait a minute, that's not a Gen 4 car. That's honestly, it looks like an ARCA car. Well, not really, because they put the Gen 4 in to basically go all the way back to the early 2000s, which is basically what the Gen 4 car was based off of, with high horsepower and the car that you see. So it went from an ARCA car that basically went in there and jacked the horsepower up, and then that's what you got right here. And from what I'm seeing right here, the 51.8s, 51.9s, you see a couple of 52 flats. I mean, it's very common right here for this right here. Obviously, you saw in practice they were hitting 49.0s, but that's because they was in the draft. And for those of you that don't know about the draft, it really is aerodynamic here, because you can get right behind another car, be able to draft right up to them, use the air, which, like I said, these cars are very aerodynamic friendly. Suck right up to the car behind you, and then you can pull a slingshot, which is basically use the air and go all the way around them, basically like a slingshot, like you're slingshotting a rock clean out of it. So, I mean, this is going to be a fantastic race, Dean. Honestly, I mean, I'm tickled to death you brought me in here, and I appreciate the kind words of talking about me. I'm telling you, I love this kind of racing, man. I can't wait to get this bad boy going.
And you have the luxury of hearing the best, and you don't even get offended, because you shouldn't be offended, because the best redneck racing caster on the planet right now. You have to use that, I think, in your handle, don't you? As the qualifying session started, lone qualifying is pretty much done. Alex is done. We'll get that grid for you. But yes, once again, it's a luxury to have you in here, my friend, because once again, you know this track like the back of your hand. I don't as much, but trust me, in casting with you for a little while right now, start to learn the banking elevations and what it is and what it does to deliver fantastic racing on oval circuits. And is this, by the way, your favorite oval circuit of all?
Oh, man, boy, you're going to end up putting me on the spot as you're checking out the grid right here. Dane, I gotta say it's Talladega, just because of the history, just because I've been here. But Atlanta Motor Speedway is real near and dear to my heart. Obviously, both of those right here in the southeastern part of the United States. But honestly, those are my two favorite tracks to race on the sim. Also, there's a couple other tracks like maybe Dover, Delaware, Dover International Speedway. Charlotte Motor Speedway is a real good one, and Texas Motor Speedway is a fantastic racetrack. Honestly, I loved Auto Club, but then once they actually have just got through demolishing it, I hate that. I mean, I love that track as well. But here we go, Dean. We're getting lined up for a 94-lap shootout, I guess you could say, here at Talladega. Got Corey Crawl on the front row right here with Dennis Kane. Gordon Spain will be right behind him, with Brandon Puffenbarger right behind them. Then Timothy Hoke and Jeremy Carter, that's going to be in row 3. Andrew Teft will be in 7th. Got Joshua Neal, he'll be right behind him in 8th. Got John Schumacher. I'm sorry, I'm probably throwing these names off a little bit, Dean. But he will be 9th, and then you got Michael Smith in 10th.
Yeah, Diego Rodriguez, of course, they're in 11th, and Kirby Wainscott, I think that is. Wainscott, yes, it is. And Sean Miriam, you mean names, Michael Brooks there in the 14th there. Noah Tasmiranda, Kesley Smith, and Ryan Broker, Alex Teff, and Brian Tiffany will round out your 19 field grid here. Now, 19 can easily, doesn't matter if you start at 19, does it? Because you said pileups can occur here. Yellows, cautions, and all that sort of jazz. So, hey, if you're in it, you're in it to win it.
Absolutely. I mean, and you throw back all the way. Let's go way back. A lot of viewers may not know this, but throw it all the way back to one of my favorite drivers to ever sit in a stock car, and I mentioned him a while ago, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jr. was basically the king of this track in these cars right here, in the Gen 4 cars at this track. There for a while, he went for 3 consecutive wins, got all 3 of them. Won one in 2000. Then he swept them in 2000, or actually, excuse me, got the 2001 fall race, swept them in 2002, went to 2003, going for 4 in a row. Here's the reason I bring that up. He qualified 13th in that race, but he had to relegate to the back of the pack because of an engine change. And guess what? Lap 8, all hell broke loose. Big one happened over in turn 1 and 2. Ended up getting through it, ended up making it 4 in a row. That was all the way back in 2003, 20 years ago, Dean.
Yeah.
It does not matter where you start at in the field. When they drop the green flag, you are in it to win it, and you got a shot at it.
Well, you don't have to feel old anymore at the moment, my friend. And November the 11th, currently 2023, you're about to start on an adventure. The Racers Elite Mixed Series, round 1, here, of course, on the track of all tracks. What do you reckon, buddy? Wave that flag? Let's go racing.
Arnie waving the flag, and Crowell will get away big time. Dennis Kane all the way up on the top side. He's going to have Pufferbarger right behind him, trying to give him a little bit of shove. Carter's going to get right up behind him. Everybody just being very calm right now. This is lap 1 of 94, which is basically half the distance of a normal cup race. Everybody got a long time to go as they're screaming off of turn number 2. A lot of help down on the bottom, not much help up on the top, but they're going to try to get a run, see if they can catch up here to Corey Crowell.
Yep, here we go, side-by-side drafting. So far, so good. Everybody through cleanly. The elevation banking changes are definitely drastically difficult, and also gives you a little of that elevation changing. You know, those tires are going to kick in and play, aren't they? But it's Talladega. It's all about shaking and baking. Well, how much bacon do you want to have, and how much shaking do you want to do?
Yeah, you're going to be shaking and baking all the way. Both of these corners, turn 1 and turn 2 and turn 3 and 4, 33 degrees of banking. And I've actually stepped on these as we look at some 3-wide action right here for second. Pufferbarger stuck in the middle with Jeremy Carter. He jumps all the way to the top side. He's going to go to second. Pufferbarger still stuck in the middle, 3 wide. Got Joshua Neal up on that top side. Carter down on. Carter actually going for the lead, trying to get the run to get around Dennis Kane, getting the shove from Joshua Neal on the top side. Neal's going to slide back down. Here comes Carter down. New lead change here at Talladega. It's Jeremy Carter coming off a turn number 4.
I couldn't believe you could possibly get 3 cars. In fact, you could probably get 4, but they are racing it for it. They're racing for pride. They're racing for, hey, I want to win this one, and I want to win this one. You got Navy liveries in there. You got Jeremy Carter, Joshua Neal, and we have Dennis Kane now. Lots of switching and changing going on at the moment, my friend, but you know, it's not about lap 3, it's about lap 94 that you want to be crossing the line first.
Yeah, but they're putting on a hell of a show, honestly, Dean, right off the bat. I mean, Jeremy Carter jumping it to the lead and doing it in a good way. Started 60s all the way up the first. Joshua Neal, he started right behind him in the next row in 8th. He's all the way up here to second, but do not count out this 5 of Brandon Pufferbarger. I'm sorry about that.
And you can huff and you can puff all along, Brendan. I'm sure at the moment he's going to be trying to huff and puff his way up for this. Sorry, Brendan, out there. Apologies, but you know, it's all about motor racing. I'm sure he's having a giggle at the moment. In fact, he's not giggling because he's worrying about the car up the road at the moment. Was that Dennis twiggling and wiggling, the 82 machine? No, that's Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua Neal right here on the bottom. I mean, he's still trying to stay with Carter. Pufferbarger up on the top side, still trying to make it work. But he's actually got some help behind him in the form of Kirby Wainscott right behind him. He's going to try to get it going, Pufferbarger and Wainscott on the top side. But so much help down here on the bottom side. And Dean, I mean, the more help that you can get around here at Talladega, the better off you're going to be. That's why we see a lot of guys, when they end up getting in a single file line, everybody, they might jump to the top, jump to the bottom, ride in the middle, however it is, but nobody wants to try to get out of the draft. When you got a bunch of cars packed up like this, they can go to the top and try to make a run. But the problem is, there's more guys down on the bottom using the draft than there is up top. So they're going to have to get some of these guys back here in the back, slide up just a little bit. As wow, Wainscott way up the racetrack, right in front of Smith. Smith rocking the Michael Waltrip throwback paint scheme. I love that one right there.
Oh, the elevation changes are insane. I haven't really experienced it as much as you just mentioned as we were riding on board with some of those drivers. It's like almost feeling like I was going to put my hand out there and just, hold you back from falling. With that shade, it's absolutely amazing. It's really good. I appreciate your experience here, my friend, because, Talladega is not a track that I know too much apart from, if you get a little kiss there from Nicole Kidman, perhaps.
You're going to roll back a few years from that one. That Navy car is wider. That's Joshua at the moment, trying to pressure Jeremy. And he elaborates everybody. Of course, bump drafting here is important, isn't it? Absolutely. Like, do you want to break the dirty air there? You want to try a risk and overtake there? The inside line, the outside line? It's your experience, my friend.
Well, I mean, you know, Dean, I mean, you do want to try to pull the bump draft because honestly, you know, bump drafting will make you go faster, obviously, than just regular draft. And what I mean by bump draft is earlier on I was talking about sucking up to the car in front of you. Well, when you end up sucking up to the car, you can either slingshot or bump draft. And basically what you're doing is you're just basically just going up there and tagging that other car right on the back bumper and just shoving him along. In the Xfinity cars, you can do that. In the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, you can do that. In the next gen cars, you can do that. Even in the 1987 cars, a lot of movement up here around the top 5. You can do that in those cars. These Gen 4s, very risky in these cars, and you're going to see right on the nose of the cars, it basically looks like a snow plow. So these guys got to be very careful when they get right up behind somebody and give them a little bit of a shove. They can easily get up under the car, spin them out, and then that's where you can see the big one. But I'm telling you, Jeremy Carter, he was on the bottom. Neil thought about it, jumped to the top, tried to find a way around him. Now both of them is going to be in a world of bad luck right here, as here comes Dennis Kane down on the bottom with help from Michael Smith, going door to door for the lead in the tri-oval.
Oh, I was waiting for that door to door. Has he got beef? He ain't got beef yet. Oh, look at this. So far, 2 abreast along here. Green, green, green all the way. Let's not curse this. Let's not commentate curse. This is great, great racing. And yeah, exactly. You go on the high side, my friend. How much of an advantage or disadvantage does that give you? Really, it's plus of a maximum risk, maximum reward scenario, isn't it? At this point.
Well, I mean, Dean, honestly, I mean, you know, I saw a bunch of them running on the bottom, and that's what I was sitting here thinking. You know, if you end up running the bottom, you know, that's the shortest way around the racetrack. But from what I have seen and from what I've experienced in my time on the sim, bottom's really not where you want to be. Up top or around the middle lane, that's where you want to be. You don't want to be on the bottom. And what I mean, and the reason I say that is because you're going to have to lift, especially if you start getting some cars on your outside. You're going to have to lift because the draft is going to be such craziness, especially going into turn 3, which is where they check up a lot. You got to, like I said, check up out of the gas, or else you're going to slide right up into the top side. Then you're going to end up having cars up there and going to end up getting turned. But usually that is where the line is in the middle. But right now it looks like more help on the bottom than there is up top.
And they're all sticking together as a pack, and you have to work together as a pack. Look at that elevation banking as they get their way into 3 and 4. Down to the exit of 4 right now. Starting another lap here at Talladega. 10 of 94. Now it's early days. Absolutely early days, isn't it? It's and then when do you feel, from your experience there, Jacob, that these tires start falling off the cliff a little?
Honestly, I mean, this kind of racing right here, Dean, this does not warrant you to have to worry about pitting for tires. Honestly, I mean, this track, obviously, other tracks, you know, obviously you'd have the tire wear, but here, with the, you know, tire compound and how the cars are built and everything, you never really had to worry about tire that much. All you're really worried about is the fuel mileage. And from what I was reading and from what I've checked out in the very short time that I have after I flew here.
Just a few minutes, by the way, he had. Just to let everybody know.
Very close. I mean, it's almost, you can almost make it on one stop. Right around 45 laps is what you can get on a full tank here in these cars. So, I mean, it's close. I mean, it's real close to making it on one stop. You may see a lot of guys back here not drive very hard and may just half throttle and try to stay off the gas as much as they can. Just use the draft to pull them around. Maybe they can save a couple of extra laps. We'll see how that turns out, but that's what's going to be interesting. If it stays green all the way to when they start going and making green flag pit stops, we're going to see them coming off turn 4. Everybody's going to be fanning out, and that's when it's going to get really crazy. Is this getting crazy at the front of the field with Jeremy Carter? And check it out, that 15 of Kinsley Smith up here on the top side. Puppenberger still trying to shove him on that top side.
Yeah, so let's go 45 out there in the chat. And the 45 machine currently at the moment is down there in Michael Smith. So there you go. Austin Smith, obviously a relative or somewhere along the line. But don't count out Austin Smith there. Joshua Neal says, let's go. We are going, of course. We are absolutely giving it everything in a go. 12 of, 94, as you said. We did have somebody box there, and I don't know quite sure, but we'll get back to that in a second, sir, because it's happening, and it's happening here in Fast and Thick.
Wow, what a block Jeremy Carter made right there. I mean, Kinsley Smith was fixing to shoot around him on the top side. Carter did not give a damn and went straight up, and we got them all spinning coming into turn 3. Big pile up, a lot of drivers getting involved. Wayne Scott is going to get involved. The 43 is going to get involved. Also, Brian Tiffany with Schuenbachler, he's going to get involved. Michael Brooks, Diego Rodriguez, a bunch of guys back here in the back. Check it out right here on the instant replay. Bunch of guys, 16, you see him all the way up in there. One guy all the way up into the fence, literally riding it. 16, he was basically going wherever the 35 took him at that point. But I honestly, Dean, I think it had to do with maybe a bad block or maybe somebody just lost it just a little bit in the corner, maybe slid up and hooked into somebody, and I think that's exactly what caused the wreck.
Yeah, I'm just wondering specifically who did it, because it happened so drastically fast, as it always does here. And we'll get replays of that, because we're on a caution at the moment anyway. Do you think it? Yeah. Oh, it happened earlier, perhaps.
Oh, yeah. It happened going into turn 3. I'm actually going to get you the actual car right here.
I'm going to replay this, rewind for a second, because it is always very, very difficult here on the oval races to see exactly who it is.
It's actually going to be Corey Crowell. Corey Crowell right there in the number 20. Try to get it lined up on him. You're going to see a huge run shoot right here in the middle of the racetrack. The 33 just comes down ever so slightly. I mean, he was getting pinched in almost 4 wide right there at one point. Yeah, he kind of just lost it right there, came down a little bit, maybe even tried to side draft. But honestly, Dean, that looked like more like net code than anything, because, I mean, you'll see, if we can see it one more time here in just a second, you can see Crowell's car actually going to the right before the 33 even touched him.
Let's have a look on board. Oh, that was too early. Unfortunately, once again, I do have to go back and rewind that, because race control doesn't call it until it actually happens. So what do you want about? It started about here, right? So what do you think?
Yeah, right around in here, put it on the 33 for his onboard, and then 33. You'll see what I'm talking about.
That's Gordon.
Yeah. Gordon Spain right there, and he's not even touching him right there at that point. That's what it was. It was just some serious net code that initiated it right there. And I think Gordon was actually maybe coming down, maybe even tried to side draft Corey just a little bit, maybe try to pull back that inside lane. But unfortunately, that is what happens right there. And that's one of the things where a lot of drivers have really been upset with the net code, because usually that is where it happens here at tracks like Talladega and Daytona and even Atlanta. That's where a lot of this this kind of stuff happens right here, is that net code stuff. And unfortunately, like, Dean, we've talked about it before with the internet deal and everything, but it's just one of them things, and a lot of other drivers, they end up getting involved in it.
It's basically when, your family member turns on the microwave and it interferes with your Wi-Fi, and you're like, oh, what? And then bang, all of a sudden your net code. Now, of course, there's a limit more than that, but they're precision, isn't it? You're talking millimeters. We saw during the qualifying session that it was almost identical times that they had during the lone qualifying. So obviously, in that sort of fractions of seconds, the simulation has to kind of calculate where you're going to be. And you are, of course, in different locations around the world. Everybody here is showing the United States of America flag. So obviously the ping times will be a little bit less, having to travel all the way across the Atlantic or the Pacific Oceans to other parts of the world. But still, nanoseconds are nanoseconds. And you all know in any esports games, simulators across the planet that, hey, it makes all the difference. But now you have Dennis, my dear friend, and more of the beat than anything is that the 15 machine, there's Kinsley Smith, gained 13 positions. Unlucky for some, not for him.
Yeah, I mean, Kinsley Smith, I mean, you know, he's doing a fantastic job. We saw him doing the great things, basically making it look like Michael Waltrip usually does here at this track. And folks, for those of you, you know, I mean, Dean, you know, this is kind of my first deal right here with Racers Elite, so I'm trying to kind of figure out some of the fans and what they know about some of these drivers. But, you know, with Michael Waltrip, ended up winning 2 Daytona 500s, actually won a race here back in 2003. You know, winning that race, actually broke the 5 win streak for Dale Earnhardt Jr. here, oddly enough. But it was his teammate. That is a DEI-looking race car. And Michael Waltrip always had the skill to be able to make it work here at Talladega. So awesome to see some of these throwbacks. Checking out the 33, that's kind of a Dale Earnhardt Jr. throwback. Obviously, the 5 of Puffenberger, he's got a little bit of a throwback. You see the Junior Whiskey River car back there. I think I saw a National Guard car right there. It is back there in about the 9th position. Looks like a little bit like a Dale Earnhardt Jr. throwback too. So obviously, Dean, these fans out here, and the drivers obviously as well, they know who their NASCAR style is, I guess, if you want to call it. They know about their NASCAR drivers apparently here in Racers Elite.
Well, one person that does know about it is yourself, Jacob. Once again, very appreciative of him. And everybody gives a thumbs out there in the chat. If you would like Jacob to continue this series, Jacob, if you're available, of course, we'd love to have you to continue this series. Yeah, for the first race of the Racers Elite Mixed Series. And you got to remember, dear my friend, that there is no other points on the table, yet these drivers even really worry about it. It's like first to win, first to see Barney is the bragging rights. Well, Dennis is in a good position, but then again, what do we have? We have a ton of laps. 80 to go in green flag conditions. Definitely zooming right now.
Dennis Kane's going to be leading them back to the restart as they go into turn 1. Puffenberger will be on the top side. Gordon Spain actually caused that last caution. Very crazy to see him still up here in the top 4, but Gordon Spain rides in that top side. And talk about Kinsley Smith, all the moves that he has made up there. Talk about Alex Teft. He's sitting there in 5th, started 18th, all the way up there to 5th. And then Brian Tiffany, I talked about him also getting involved in that accident in the number 35. He's sitting in 6th. But right now, Dennis Kane, he's been up front for most of the race. Still keeping it up there. A couple of guys back here. Wow, Gordon Spain almost getting turned back here, coming off of turn number 4. I'm telling you, that 32 right there, is that the 32 that I'm looking at on my screen? Is that the car number? No, that is Joshua Neal in the Navy car. 8 kind of looked like a 3. But, man, he shot out of a caddy coming off of turn 4, trying to get up there with Puffenberger. He wants to go to the front. He wants to try to lead here at Talladega.
If you talk about Navy, man, of course, he shot it like a torpedo there for the hometown Fort Wayne, Indiana driver there, Joshua, that you can see riding on board right now, the 82 machine. There it is, my friend Jacob. Shot like a torpedo. Trying my best. I'm trying my best for Talladega producers here at the moment. Dennis leading, Kinsley and Brandon in your top 3 positions. But hey, that does not make any difference at the moment. Once again, to see the checkered flag of 94. 78 to go.
But I'm telling you, Dean, they are putting on a hell of a show right here. Puffenberger up on the top side, getting all he can get from Joshua Neal. Neal knows that it can get crazy on this bump draft, and check it out. Here comes the 26, Jeremy Carter, all that started in the 6th spot, was up front leading at one point, threw it straight in the middle, jumps up into the number 6-7 position right behind Joshua Neal and Puffenberger on this top side. Everybody else down on the bottom side still trying to get rolling. But wow, what a move by Jeremy Carter to just stick it in there, hope it sticked. It ended up sticking, probably scared everybody on the top side. That's why a bunch of them jumped up and basically let him go. Here comes the momentum on the top side with Brandon Puffenberger on the top. Get the push from Joshua Neal, and they will dethrone Dennis Kane for the moment. Puppenbarger leading here at Talladega.
And how's it feel to be in the lead of this race, especially two abreast at the moment, top side and downside, Brandon and Dennis. Dennis on the inside line there, Brandon on the outside. Just behind that 60 switcheroo at the moment, pushed along there by, of course, our fantastic Navy driver there of Kensley. You're not talking about the other driver before just there. I have to say for a second there, Jacob. Well, he's the Indiana driver, my friend. So he's like, bring on Indianapolis. Well, at the moment, my friend, you have to handle the fantastic Talladega.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, back to your question that you were talking about is they're looking possibly four wide back there in the back, and you can do it here at Talladega.
No,
Come
you
on,
cannot
dude. You know
do it.
You want to see it. You know you want to see that four wide here at Talladega, but they are getting three wide back there in the likes of Andrew Tiflin. Back here in the 16, stuck straight in the middle, and now check it out. 3 by 3 by 3 up here as Puppenbarger is going to get shoved out of the way. Here comes Joshua Neal all the way with help from Jeremy Carter. Here comes the middle lane. It's going to advance. Puppenbarger dropping like a rock on the top side right in front of the 35. But Joshua Neal on the top side with help from Jeremy Carter. Here they come to the front. Comes down, tries to side draft Dennis Kane, almost gets into his door. Battle for the lead is on with Joshua Neal and Dennis Kane.
Oh, this is fun. This is exactly what you talked about. Andrew goes up to the hot tie wall there, into the fence, and he is definitely struggling to pace out of that way. But forget that. Dennis, the number 4 and the number 82, 15 and 26 are going for it tooth and a nail. And look at that napper. Is that Kensley trying to stick his nose in there? Don't get a cut off, my friend. No plastic surgeons are available here at Talladega tonight.
These guys were slipping, sliding all over the place. That is Kensley right behind him. Kensley Smith in the 15. I talked about that throwback paint scheme that he has. Puppenbarger back there, he is trying to get somebody to work that top side. Nobody even wants to go up there. Hopefully he'll drop down. He's thinking about it. Here he comes back down. Up front, Dennis Kane, Joshua Neal. They have been side by side for about the past 2 to 3 laps. Actually, Kane almost came up into Joshua Neal's left side, almost gave him a little bit of a door banging, Dean. I know you was waiting to hear that. But, I mean, a little bit of a door banging almost at the line, but here we go. Puppenbarger trying to get the run back here and try to shoot up through here. Not able to do it. He's going to come back even farther, maybe not. He is working that top side and doing it all by himself right now, Dean.
Do you think he can drive around the outside of the top side? Look at the speed advantage he has here at the moment. He's gaining it. Something's happened in the background. That's going to be a caution. There it is.
Gonna have a caution, but nothing yet. Nothing yet on the speedway. Everybody is still clean and still green. As right now, Puppenbarger, now he's going to start to get a little bit of a help. Now here comes Corey Cornwell. He is going to try to work this top side, maybe shove him up here, try to make it 3 by 3 up here at the front. Wow, check him out. They're rolling.
He's in the lead almost. Did that pay off? Did he gamble? Did he lay his cards down? Is the river card already down this poker tournament here at Talladega? You're the man that would know that. 3 abreast, you want it, you got it. 4 I really want, but let's see what they're going to pan out.
Yeah, man, and most of them saved it back there in the back with the likes of John Schulenbacher. He was not able to make the save. Also, Noah Tansman, he was not able to make the save as well. But everybody else is pretty comfortably staying in the draft. But Pufferberger, he was making a hell of a run on that top side. Honestly, I thought him and Crowell was going to really make it work up there. But check this out. Now the 16, we talked about him. He was stuck completely in a 3-wide battle just a moment ago. Andrew Tiplett up here on the top side with Kenzie Smith trying to shove him. Jeremy Carter down on the bottom with Joshua Neal up here as well as Dennis Kane right behind him. I'm telling you, Dean, they are fanning out big time, and here they go. Puppenbarger stuck in the middle once again with Corey Crowell and Alex Tiplett right here on the bottom. Gets a little shove. Kane almost gets spun going into 3. They are beating and banging. Here they go. 59 barely able to hold on.
Yeah,
to
we like
it.
Get out there. Get your elbows out, guys. It's called a motor race, and it is a motor race with 71 to go. 1 caution so far. Look at this. Once again, here's Pufferberger on the outside. He gets it in there, doesn't he? But as soon as it has a drop to the inside, they just kind of close the door there and lock it. padlocked, double locked. Yeah, Jacob, what do you reckon? Oh, that's getting really grip. There's not too much grip out there on the outside.
Yeah, Puffenbarger almost came straight up and got into Crowell. Now Puffenbarger throws it all the way into the fence, wanting to go top, still wanting to go top, still into the fence, right in front of Crowell. Now he's going to back up the top side. Crowell's going to have to get out of the gas, find a way around him. Wow, Puffenbarger, he's been all the way from the bottom to the middle, to the outside, even in the damn fence at this point, Dean. He's been everywhere right here on the racetrack. The only thing he hasn't done is went below the double yellow line, but up front, Tafet is still rolling right here on that 16 car. He's getting the push from Kinsley Smith right behind him. And check it out, the 33 still up here trying to get it going. Gordon Spain, one of those guys that got involved in an earlier accident. And Dean, I did check this out. They do have 3 fast repairs that they can use. Some of them maybe even used them earlier on in that very first caution. But, you know, here comes Gordon Spain back up here to the front. As Neal, he's going to stay down. Here comes Carter. Now Carter going to jump up and try to go for the lead at Talladega.
You want the lead? Do you? Well, you don't have to have the lead, but you want it. I mean, it feels good, doesn't it, there for a second? Obviously, points are in place, whether they don't. I mean, this is more about a fun league than it is about getting it done for maximum risk, maximum reward. Look at that. Push comes to shove. Shove comes to push. No, teammates at all. And you know that for a fact, isn't it? You're going to help somebody at the end of the day. Why not? Coming up to a lapped car as well, which will be very, very interesting to see how they're going to navigate this, because you've got 3 abreast.
And, you know, Dean, honestly, this is one of those times where you're praying that the lap car will just pour down to the bottom of the racetrack, which is what he is doing, and that's exactly what you want to see. But, oh, here they go. Here they go. Joshua Neal's going to get involved. A bunch of them's going to get involved. This has got to bring out the caution, and sure enough, it does. And the lap car had nothing to do with that right there, Dean. That was just a bad push on that top side. And big-time calamity happening right here on the back stretch at Talladega.
Well, I think it might have had a little psychological play with that, Jacob. A psychological play, but not an actual physical game play, if you want to say it like that.
I don't think it did, honestly.
Oh.
I don't think it did, Dean. Honestly, I think right there, Carter, he was all the way to the top. Obviously, the 8 way out of the way. You see that right there. And, I mean, Neal, unfortunate for him. I mean, he gets slammed by Carter. Carter slams him. He's not able to keep it straight. Gets into Kinsley Smith. The only one that gets away is Andrew Tafet up there in the front side. Neal goes all the way down to the bottom. You see Carter, he's able to keep it straight. Bunch of guys back here. Brandon Puffenbarger, he's going to get involved. One guy hard into the inside wall. Hold back tires, hold back into the car, going straight up in the air. Obviously, Alex Tafet getting involved as well. But wow, I mean, honestly, Dean, it's like I said, I don't think it had anything to do with the lap car. It had absolutely nothing to do with the lap car. He was way completely out of the way. I think that was just too much of a run by Jeremy Carter coming up, getting into Joshua Neal, getting him sideways, and then Carter wasn't able to hold on to the car and ended up coming straight down into the 15, which ended up causing another big one here at Talladega.
One will not deny your experience, my dear friend, in accidents, because it happens at a blink of a second. I'm just getting my head around exactly what just happened on that one, even with the action replays. Hope you are out there in chat too, Joshua and Austin. As they head down the pit road, as you would expect. What are they going to do right now on pit road, my friend? You said tires aren't that much of a trouble. Bit of gasoline might help, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, tires is not really going to be a key, I guess you could say. But when you're under caution, you know what? I mean, depending on how many sets of tires that you do have, and I'm sitting here looking at to see what the tire limit is. I'm not seeing one. Yes, there is. There is a 5-set tire limit. So if you're under caution, you know what? Screw it. Go ahead and get you 4 fresh tires. Go ahead and send out there. Some guys may choose to not take those tires, and if they do, so not to take them, that's fine too. I mean, it's like I said, tire wear is not really a key here at this track, but it can help out with the handling on the car, especially coming off of the corners. At certain points, if you get stuck in the middle, that's where you want to be. You know, you kind of want to get those 4 fresh tires to be able to keep that car straight. So it's a coin flip, but if you're going to end up taking 4 tires, you want to do it under caution.
Yep, you're right. That one, because, you know, safety cars, of course, longer pit stops Now, what happens if Sean back here in P18? He's caught the pace car. All the drivers have gone in and out essentially, apart from Noah and Michael Brooks. Michael Brooks is sitting there at the moment, just exiting. Noah's just exited. So what happens in this situation, and we just mentioned before, can they catch up then and the safety car, pass the safety car and pace car and get on with it and catch up the rest of the pack? Because I believe everybody is on the lead lap.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody really is. I mean, you got a couple of guys back here. I mean, Sean, he's going to be, he will be the beneficiary. Stayed out, everybody else goes in. So he'll be able to get back on the lead lap. The only guy that is not on the lead lap at this point is the 8 car of Michael Brooks. And he was right there when the caution came out. I mean, I think he actually may have been ahead of the leader at the time, maybe not. But still 3 laps down. He chose to go in. So he's the only guy that's not in a position right now to race for any positions at this time. But I'm telling you, Dean, if they get as crazy as they've been getting for these past 29 laps, I think Michael Brooks are having no problem getting back on the lead lap and still having a shot to win this damn thing.
And Sean at the moment is behind the pace car. But he is essentially plump 18. There it is. There's the call. I was going to say. I was going to ask you that one then, Jacob, because it was like, there's no way he can continue to be in that position. And now Gordon will resume the 33 machine, the lead of the race.
Yeah,
So that-
I mean, well, Dean, Dean, and not to cut you off, but there's a reason why, like I said, that he's basically going to take the wave around. Basically, he is the first car, or he is the last car on the lead lap. Everybody else decided to go in. Sean decided to stay out, which was a very good call by the 18 to go ahead and get back on the lead lap. So he'll come all the way back around and line up at the tail end of the field, but he will be on the lead lap. So he will be going for positions when they get the restart right here. And very good call by him. And that's just strategic call right there to be able to pull that off. He got put in the right place at the right time to make this move right here.
This is why I love oval racing, because it bunches people back up, then it gives you an opportunity. Even if you feel like if this was a road course, as you're well aware of, if this was a road course and you had this amount of laps to go, my friend, like that would almost most drivers would sit there and pull that one into the pit garage and say, I'm done. There's no way. There's no possible way I'm going to catch up the rest of the pack. Unless there's cautions, of course, and cautions aren't caused as often. And now he has a shot. And that brings all 18 drivers into play. Only one of them at the moment, Michael, just a lap down. But we don't have a retirement, a single retirement at all. If this, once again, we're talking about oval track racing and so forth, you probably have 3 or 4 retirements already after those incidents. But you don't have it here right now. You have motor racing for the Racing Elite Mixed Series. Round 1 at where? Talladega.
Yeah, I mean, and all of that's got to do with the passenger pair limit that they have. Obviously, 3 passenger pair limits. Obviously, I would say for the majority of the field, they're not holding on to 3 passenger pairs at this point with some of the wrecks that have happened. But Gordon Spain going to lead them to the green flag, gets a fantastic jump on that front row. Andrew Tiplett will be right behind him. He's going to wait until the start-finish line, does a fantastic job, jumps right up in front of Dennis Kane on the top side. Here comes Kinsley Smith on the top. He's going to shoot the middle. Jumps it straight to the middle, 3 wide. And here comes Joshua Neal as well in the middle. Kane goes all the way to the top. No friends. But now Kinsley's going to jump down. And Joshua's going to try to roll the top side and try to do it all by himself. And jump down in front of Gordon Spain. He's got him for just a second. But now he jumps down. Gets in front of the 16. Wow, what a move on that restart by Joshua Neal to take the lead here at Talladega.
That's amazing, amazing work, as you got to get used to the bump drops, as you mentioned. Still, drag race there, Andrew Joshua. And interesting, but once again on the high line, we had a few of the drivers going all right up there, deep onto the outside. If you see in the background at the moment, I think that's Kirby or so forth. But you just focus on this one. You called it, my friend. You know truck racing. I mean, you said you walked this track. You know the elevation change. You probably played around here as a child, didn't you? Like digging sandcastles going, let's go race king.
Yeah, I mean, more or less. I mean, I guess you could say that. But, these cars actually, these Gen 4 cars, they are actually going a lot faster than the Craftsman Truck Series or the Concerns of Police Survivors Truck Series, like we broadcasted last night, or even the DSR Electric Series, which I will be running in on the Monday nights with Nazareth. But these cars, they got a lot of horsepower, obviously sitting right around 190 miles an hour all the way around this bad boy. And you're not lifting, folks. You are foot to the floor. Joshua Neal is not lifting one bit. The only time he will lift is if that 16 jumps down in front of him, and then he has to check up to try to not run him over. But check it out. Brandon Puffenbarger, he is the high side tickler right now on that top side. He has not gotten off this top side. He wants to make it work. He just needs a couple of guys to get up here. Or actually, no, he's going to try to do it all by himself. Nobody up there with him, and he's staying with them as they're 3 wide back there for the third spot.
Oh, I want 4 wide, but 3 wide will do. At the moment, number 4 at the moment is in the mix with this. 15, 16, and 82. Joshua leading this one. Yeah, Brandon's, he's put his nose in a few times for this one, hasn't he? He's the only one that's happy to be glued to the wall. Maybe he brought that wall flowers, my friend Bob. You better be, because if you slam it at 100 miles an hour, it's not going to buy you flowers back. But we do have a motor race. Andrew still leading. Andrew leading this race.
Andrew, he's been, and honestly, love the throwback as well to him. Shout out to Greg Whipple back in his earlier days around the 2005 when the NASCAR Next Tail Cup Series was going on. Whipple knew how to get around these super speedways, and Andrew's doing it as well, getting a good shove right now from Dennis Kane on this top side, as he is still side by side with Joshua Neal, who put on an absolute fantastic restart to be able to put himself into this position. Here comes Kane. He's going to get up right to the back bumper of Andrew. Andrew's going to see if he can try to keep it going. Maybe even come down, side draft this bottom lane, try to pull him back a little bit, and then maybe Andrew will get him. Now, Joshua Neal, he jumps up to the top. He's going to stack the outside lane up just a little bit. Lap car down on the bottom. Neal comes up. He's going to get turned. Andrew tags him in the right rear. Wow, Neal's going to come back up and saves the car coming off of turn 2. Hell of a save by Joshua Neal. Almost took the whole field out after Andrew tagged him in the left rear and spun him around, and we got a caution on the speedway.
Yeah, we have caution for the back, I think, and that's a save, of course. He's jumped into the water and revived that car. What happened with the safety car, which I'm very intrigued to know. Let's have a look what caused the caution. I think it's a little bit further back there, my friend.
I'm looking at it right now. Honestly, I think it had to do with Joshua Neal getting spun off the front bumper, because I'm seeing who threw the caution, and it was, believe it or not, the 16, your leader, Andrew Tiflett, was the guy that threw the caution right there. He is the reason why he threw it, because he got into the 82 and spun him around, and I feel like that's not how he wanted to do that particular point. Obviously, it was not intentional. You never are intentionally trying to spin somebody out here at Talladega. If it was Bristol or something like that, yeah, absolutely spin their ass out. But, not here, not like that. Obviously, he throws the caution to try to help the 82, try to get back up. But I'm telling you, Neal done a hell of a save saving that car. That was an absolute fantastic save. If we get another replay of that, Dean, that was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, I was just curious, how did Andrew throw the caution? As we're going to go back and look at Neal.
Well, they got admin controls. There's certain drivers that have admin controls, and I'll mention that here in a sec. But check this out. They're trying to get around the lap car right there. That's Brian Tiffany in the 35 on the bottom. And wow, check it out. Neal goes all the way to the bottom, jumps down into the grass. And folks, this grass right here, it's just like going across ice. You can really lose the car. Check it out once again right here. Neal gets tagged in the right rear rather than the left rear, but Neal's still turning. And it's like I said, these cars, they got a snowplow on the front of their car. As you see how the nose is, if you can see it right there, it's how it just points down, and it can just basically scoop the back end of a car straight up. You see how the back end of the car has got a lot of air, a lot of room on the back of it. And obviously the nose is really like a scoop. They can just scoop up the back end of the car and spin them out. So even though he got into the right rear, he got the back end up, and then Neal was turning to the left, and it just brought the right rear of the car around and ended up spinning him out. But going back to the admin control thing, certain drivers that set up a lobby on iRacing, they can put whoever is an admin in here. And obviously Andrew, who threw the caution, he's putting out, waving around guys around the pace car. He, waved Brian Tiffany around, waved Michael Brooks around as well. That is admin control. There is certain keys, there's hot keys, if you will, that they can put in and control the race. Even if they're driving the car, they can control the race however they see fit. They can give somebody a black flag. They can wave them around the pace car like we've seen, and they can even throw the caution if need be.
That is interesting to know as we are venturing our way into 58 laps left, 37 down. Second caution. Look at that banking once again. I feel, Jacob, that I have to try to hold you up here in the casting booth with me. You're gonna fall off there, man. Don't make sure you keep your hands and feet and everything else attached inside the window here, as Andrew certainly is. Man's gained 6 positions. Kensley now is the man on the move. He has gained 12.
I mean, and Dean, actually to bring up a good point and to kind of let some of our viewers kind of into my life, I guess you could say. And Dean, you probably didn't even know this, but me and my wife, when I was engaged to her when she was my fiance, we actually had engagement pictures took. Where else? Talladega Super Speedway. We had pictures took. Yes, we did. We had them took at the start-finish line. With my truck and everything, had them took in the pits,
right
in
here.
the garage. Yes, right there at that start-finish line. I've actually got a picture. I'll send it to you after the broadcast. But what was cool was I actually got to get my truck out there on the track, and then we actually got to do a real lap at Talladega. Obviously not at 190 miles an hour because my truck.
Oh, come on,
do
Jacob.
that.
You have this power.
I wanted to, but I'll be honest with you. Me and her, we was coming right here in this turn right here in turn 1 and 2, and she was holding on to the handle up at where the frame is inside the truck. She was holding on to that, trying to pull herself back to the door, as well as I'm holding on to the console, trying to pull myself to the middle of it. That's how steep these corners can get, and and a fun fact about it: the guy that was out there, I guess you could say the president of the track or whoever it was, president of security, he was going around there in a Corvette, and he was doing 90 miles an hour, and I was only doing 60 miles an hour, much like what they're doing at pace speed. And he told me afterwards, he was like, I was kind of hoping you would have got up some speed when I took off and left you. I said, I didn't want to flip the truck. He said, well, if you would have got up some more speed, you wouldn't have had to worry about it. So that's the only regret that I had out of it, was not giving it a little bit more gas and doing about 90 miles an hour at Talladega. But still a very cool, very interesting experience. And obviously I got to thank my wife for coming up with that idea to get us to come here after I've been here so many years. And this is one of her favorite tracks. She wasn't even a NASCAR fan until she met me, and now she is Chase Elliott crazy. I'll say that, Dean.
She should be chasing Andrew crazy and Dennis down there. Yeah, that's great stories there. I'd love to hear that, of course. I was about to say, you forgot about the very aspect that you kept her safe during that whole adventure there around Talladega. Not to mention anything else, but anyway, she's well aware of that one. Let's go green. Now, 57 laps. What's the possibilities? What is flip a coin there? They get green to the end.
I doubt it, honestly. But we'll see what happens. I mean, these guys been racing very, very aggressive. And Andrew Tiffett will be on the bottom side. Kane's back up top. Dennis Kane's been up at the front all race long. Some guy that we have, or a driver that we have not talked about. Right behind the 16, the 59, Timothy Hake, right behind him, doing a fantastic job. He actually started 5th, but he's not really been a factor here in the race. But here comes the top side, huge shove right now out of the 15 of Kinsley Smith, shoving Dennis Kane all the way to the front. And here comes the top side, trying to get a run right now. That is the number 20 entry, trying to get going right here. Corey Crowell still trying to make the top line work, much like Brandon Puppenbarger tried to do earlier on, as they are 3 wide coming into the trough for that 3rd spot.
I think he is making it work. That's 4. That's almost 4.
4 wide.
No, it's impossible. It is. If he goes up to the fence, he's going to be 4. Look at that 32 machine, 82 machine on the outside. Thought about that for a second. 45 had to cover him, obviously. So I'm sorry, my friend. There's no traction up here. It's called marbles. Who's in the fence?
Oh, wow. I'm telling you, Joshua Neal up there in the fence. But Dean, these guys are beating and banging, door banging, like you like to say, or like you like me to say. These guys door banging like they're on a quarter-mile dirt track right outside of turn 4. And here they go. Finally enough of beating and banging. Jeremy Carter, hard contact in the outside wall, hard contact in the inside wall. Caution will fly once again here at Talladega.
It was inevitable at that point, wasn't it? It was inevitable. Let's find out exactly what of that. There it is. Now, we have to rewind that a little bit. You can break that down as specifics. What happened to the 82 machine there? And don't blame it on netcode.
Previous caution, Dean.
Oh, sorry. I was testing you to see if you were paying attention.
Attaboy, that's how you do it. Well, we'll check it out right here in just a couple of seconds. You're going to get the replay right here. There we go. Carter straight into the fence, back in first. And then you see trying to lock it down. A couple of other drivers also getting involved. You see the 35 right there. Brian Tiffany just did get back on the lead lap, having to duck and dodge some of this. But we'll see what happened to Carter, because it looked like Carter was the one that kind of started a little bit into this. And everything looked good, but yeah, I mean, it was Neal. Carter tried to jump up. Neal had a hell of a run going into 3 and just jacked the back end of his car straight up, spun him around, and then everybody else is just along for the ride. I mean, you see Neal up there. Yeah, he made some serious contact, all of it right in front of Brendan Puffenberger, who, believe it or not, was in the middle lane, not the top lane. He ends up getting into Carter. A couple of other guys tagging into Carter. Carter gets the worst of all of it. Bam! Hard into the wall. All 4 wheels off of the track. And then right here, he just tries to turn it back down. Backs it hard into the inside wall. And once again, caution on the speedway here at Talladega.
And Jacob, interesting on that factor as well too. A few drivers are electing to use that opportunity as a boxing box that would say regularly. So what do you think about the situation now? Gordon, Timothy, Brandon, Andrew, Joshua. We know the other drivers had damage, had to go in there and fix that all up. But do you think that's a good opportunity for the likes here of the number 16 machine, who's come out there with the additional pit stop over the other drivers above him?
Well, I mean, Dean, as I said earlier, if you're going to go in and get 4 fresh tires, you really don't want to do it, under green flag conditions. You want to do it under caution, because you're not having to worry about everybody going 190 mile an hour all the way around the track, and then you got to pray that they, you can catch up. So might have been what the 16 was thinking. Go ahead, get 4 fresh tires. Go ahead, be able to get the handling back with the car, because I mean, honestly, I talked about it, there's not as much tire wear, but when I say that, there's not as much tire wear as you would have at other tracks. There still is some tire wear. I mean, hell, they're going around here at 190 mile an hour, absolutely flying here at this track. It is smooth. Granted, it was repaved back in 2006. So, it's got a little bit of age to it, but it is still smooth, as you see right there. You see how smooth it is. It is very, very smooth. Like I said, got repaved back in 2006, but it's not as bumpy. It's not as cracked as it was before then. And folks, if you haven't actually seen Talladega not repaved, go check it out at what it looked like. I'd say about the first part of 2005 when they ran the spring race there. The first part of 2006, the spring race there. You will see it is absolutely beat up. It basically looks like a road map. That's what the track looked like.
Oh. And of course, if you do have the luxury of that one, Jacob did put his handprint in there as well. Did you, Jacob? As the concrete, wasn't it? The asphalt surface was setting. You snuck in there, of course, the track just down the road there, as anybody would. Put your handprint in there just before it dried there, and it's there for eternal. Now, you let everybody know where specifically that is located in the future there.
Well,
Don't reveal the secret. You know, that could be that little bump that murders the cars into turn 3, 4, or 2. You never know.
Well, it ain't on the racing surface. It's on the apron. Nah, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. Nah, I wish
yes,
I could
you
have.
did. Come on,
well,
don't reveal it.
I went up to the gate and they wouldn't let me in. I'll be honest with you.
You jumped the gate, mate.
I tried. Well, I didn't want to go to jail. I wanted to put my handprint in there, but you know that hot asphalt.
Hey, you know what? You may in the future, my friend, with your broadcasting abilities, at some point in the future, and they resurface it. Request that. Say, look, if I'm going to do it, I want my handprint on that. At the moment, the number 4 wants his handprint on the race win. As well as Kensley Smith wants 14 positions gained. He's got it. But you know what's better than 14? 15. You know what's better than 15? 52 laps to go.
Yeah, I mean, we are coming down to crunch time, and you know, Dean, you know, as I've said before, I mean, there's still a lot of racing left. They're coming up on the halfway point in this race, but these drivers know that. They've seen the wrecks, they've seen the intensity. Here's the thing. As more as you get closer to the end of this race, that intensity is going to pick up, because these guys know, everybody in the field knows that they still have a shot to win this race. Even Michael Brooks, he was 3 laps down at one point. Now back on the lead lap in the number 8 car. Awesome to see him get back up here. Now he's got something to shoot for. Now he's got some spots to race for, and now he's still got a shot to win. I believe Brian Tiffany, the only driver that has backed out, so he's the only driver that has retired. Everybody else on the racetrack has a shot to win this thing. Here we go. We're going back green, Dean.
Green means go, go, go. Barney likes it, and it's green here. About halfway through, 52 to go.
It is Kane. He's going to be down there on the bottom side. Got Kensley Smith on the top side. Right behind him, you got Noah Tasman. Right behind him in that number 56. Haven't talked a lot about him. He's up a bunch of spots, up 12 actually from his starting spot, 15th all the way up to 3rd. Then check out Michael Smith back there in the Budweiser looking car. And that number 45 still trying to roll the top side the best that he can, trying to jump up here, maybe even give it a little throwback, if you will, with shades of, you know, Michael Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt Jr. at this track. As I mentioned earlier, they were teammates at one point with DEI. So the Budweiser and the Napa car once again trying to see if they can get this top lane rolling. As Dennis Kane still getting a huge shove from that 56 down on the bottom side.
And Dennis getting one position there and sticking with it the whole race long. Look at Twally Wall, the background, isn't it? If that's Kirby or Michael Smith. Kensley, of course, 14 positions gained there for the 15 machine. And a 56 machine of a Noah, 12 positions gained. And gaining. Alex is a little bit further back there in the 43, gaining 12. So, hey, you got to beat it to win it. Oh, there it is. And that's, who was that? Ryan.
Wow,
green.
I mean, he gets, wow, we're still green.
Yes.
Still green here at Talladega with all that going on. Now the caution flies. Andrew throws the caution. So back it down, everybody, as it looked like that was Joshua Neal that kind of got into him, kind of got into the right front, kind of tagged him, spun him around. We'll check it out once again right here on the instant replay. And, you know, you mentioned it, Ryan Coker right here in the number 44. We'll see it here in just a second. But, yeah, I mean, Coker was down there on the bottom. Neal was stuck 3 wide, ended up getting the run. And then I think he honestly wanted to try to come down, but not able to do it. I mean, Coker was there and just ended up throwing him straight into the inside wall.
Let's have a look. Just teasing everybody at the moment. There's nothing here.
Yeah, still teasing us a little bit, but you'll see it right here in just a second. I mean, you know, Neal, you know, he's been through a lot of things here this evening. I'll be honest with you. He's been through a lot of crazy accidents here this evening here at Talladega. I mean, we've seen him, you know, damn near flip one time. Honestly, I mean, he's been through a lot of stuff. He's been up top. He's been down on the bottom. He's been doing a lot of crazy things. But unfortunately, we see Ryan Coker. He is actually down pit road. May end up burning a faster pair right here. Hopefully, he'll be able to get back out on the racetrack.
Everybody should be back on the racetrack. Josh O'Neill. I'm still trying to see what happened with that one. Maybe my mind is playing tricks on me, Motivator Friend, because race control. Give me the information. We'll get back to that one in a minute. As well, Dennis is in the pit road, but look at that. Noah stayed out. Now, what happens now? My dear friend Jacob, race driver as well. Best broadcaster on the planet here that knows trucks and NASCAR. What's the different strategies? How's it going to pan off?
Well, I mean, Dennis, I think he stayed out there for a good bit. I think he's just trying to get back into here, maybe go in and get 4 fresh tires like some of those other guys did earlier on, and go back in, maybe get some handling. You see Andrew now, he's coming out right there, Andrew Tift in the 16. I know I'm probably messing up some of these names, Dean, but I'm doing the best that I can with it. But, Kenzie Smith, you see him, Brandon Puffenbarger, back here as well. And you see Michael Smith in the 45. Bunch of these guys, I think they're going in, maybe getting 4 fresh tires. And then some of them, honestly, Dean, they might have been stuck in the middle of the race or of the pack. And, honestly, in my perspective of what I've experienced here in iRacing and any racing here at Talladega, you don't want to be in the middle of the pack. You really don't. You want to be either at the front or you want to be way at the back. And the reason I say that is you want to be away from the wrecks. Now, the wreck can happen at any point. Hell, it can happen up front, even with maybe a bad push going for the lead, and then everybody behind them getting wiped out. If you're in the back, you got opportunity to be able to whoa the car down, hit the brakes, slow down a little bit, and try to miss the wreck. But if you're at the front, you got a good shot at missing it. But that's where a lot of the action is, up front and in the middle. So the reason I say that is some of these guys that pitted, maybe they're just thinking, okay, I'm stuck right in the middle of the pack. I want to get to the back and try to miss some of these cautions, because we are having a good number of cautions right here in this race, Dean, and I think that might be some of these guys' strategy. Some may be going for the tires to get a better handling. The other guys, they might have been stuck in the middle, maybe wanted to ease back just a little bit further to try to miss some of these wrecks.
You predicted the cautions, and you had to use that wisely. So looking back at the replay to try to find out specifically what caused it, we did kind of catch it live. I'm so much better than live than I am when it comes to a replay scenario. But anybody out there in the chat, please let us know any of the information that you do have. Thank you very much for tuning in at the moment. Pascal leading this one from Noah. Now 14 positions gained. He's just been creeping in here. Massachusetts, my friend, the birthplace and the ones that initiated the independence, remember, from those goddamn bloody British. And at the moment, he's on independence here from the rest of the pack here at Talladega.
Yeah, and Noah, we didn't talk about him, for a good portion right there at the beginning of the broadcast, because to be honest with you, Noah was not really relevant at the time. Obviously you mentioned it right then. He's up 14 spots, obviously leading. So he started back in about the middle to back of the pack around 15th. So there was 19 cars that took the start here this evening. So he was way back there around, like I said, the back half of the field. But now he's been able to slowly and methodically find his way, get through some of these accidents that's been going on, and he's been able to send that number 56, get it up here to the front, and now he's going to have Joshua Neal at his outside. We just saw what happened with Joshua Neal getting into Ryan Coker and sending him into the inside wall. So I'm sure that may be going through Noah's mind right now, but Noah's got to be loving this because of the strategy, especially where you started. And, Dean, that's what I was talking about. This track is an ultimate wild card. You go to Dover or, Charlotte or Texas, like I was talking about earlier. Those tracks, it's all about track position. It's all about, qualifying, having a good setup, saving your tires, all that good stuff, that you've heard me talk about in the past. But Talladega, it's all about getting lucky, missing the wrecks, and trying to stay up front and using the air to your advantage. And right now, Noah's been able to use every single one of those, put himself up here in the lead.
And Jacob, I saw a iRacing highlight video just of recent at iRacing. And by the way, if you do like any of the racing that's here, clip it and submit it to the iRacing. There is a not 10 highlights, not top 10 highlights, and there is a top 10 highlights. And not top 10 highlights that I did see was about every 20 cars crashing across the line. And nobody even knew what was going to happen. So anything can happen. Can't. But the 56 machine of Noah has resumed grid play.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, Dean, honestly, I mean, the picture you're talking about, I actually saw that picture. Guess where it happened at, folks?
Yeah,
Talladega.
Yeah,
right here is
yeah.
the same exact picture. That, I mean, and there is a good chance that we can have that here this evening. I mean, these guys really giving it their all. As you see Noah, he's going to slip back just a little bit. Here comes the 18, Sean Merriman. You talked about him a while ago, Dean. Can he get to the front? Well, guess what? He's all the way up to second, shoved Joshua Neal to the lead. They jump right in front of Noah. And now Joshua Neal once again leading here at Talladega, but he's got a new guy behind him in that 18. That's Sean Merriman right behind him. And Noah's still trying to roll on this bottom side as Andrew Tift on the top side with help from Dennis Kane and the 15 of Kinsley Smith going to start to make a run. Here they come. Tift goes to second. He's going for the lead. Neal on the bottom. Kane still trying to shove Tift as they come off of turn number 2. Tift with a big head of momentum as they come off of turn 2. He's going to easily grab the lead as they're looking maybe 3 wide behind him.
Now you got a 45 to go, so it's crunch time. You have a little bit of a tyre strategy difference, not a lot between them, but you still have Andrew leading this one. Now you're going 3 abreast at the back end. Well, the one there is Kingsley, Sean, and Alex. 56 machine on the inside there of Noah, Corey. And I feel like at the moment Andrew is a sitting target, isn't he? He's painted a bullseye in the back of that 16 machine. He's in trouble.
No, I don't think he's in trouble at all, honestly. I mean, I think him and Dennis Kane, they may have worked something out when they went into the pits, maybe even jumped in a Discord chat, tried to line something up, maybe get some kind of strategy going. These two right here, they've been working together for the past couple of laps, and I think Kinsley Smith, he may have even made an agreement with them in some fort, and here he is right here stuck with them. Right behind him, you got Alex Tift. I'm sure that he is probably maybe somewhat related to Andrew because there's not a coincidence with those last names as well. Alex up here in the 43 running on the top side right with Andrew. But I'm telling you, this top lane really starting to make some momentum as they're actually packed up even more on the top side than they are on the bottom. You figure this top lane will be able to get the run. But Andrew coming down, trying to pull this side draft, maybe trying to pull this bottom lane back as they are forming up big time up here on this top side.
Now, how difficult is this as a race driver when you're so crunch time? You got to remember you are milliseconds of reaction times. You have to get that gas pedal lifted, lift a little bit there, hit it. There's no brake pedal, my friend. Probably even no downshifting. It's just go, go, go. You said pretty much flat all the way. What are you feeling as a race driver right now, Jacob? Especially if you're in the very shoes of Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in Andrew right now, I think you actually want to get clear of this 82, and then you can start playing the blocking game, which is shades of Brad Keselowski. He does a fantastic job of doing some blocking. He ends up getting turned doing it a bunch, but he loves to do that kind of blocking stuff here on the super speedways of Talladega and Daytona, as well as Atlanta after it has been repaved and made it into a super speedway. But I think that's what Andrew's doing. He's just trying to make sure that Kane stays behind him and Kane doesn't jump all the way to the top and shoot straight around him. Now, Andrew Tift's right. He will be clear. Gonna try to pull Dennis Kane right here on the bottom, or on the top. He is clear. Now, here comes the 15, Kinsley Smith. Now he is clear. Which one of these three is gonna jump to the bottom? Is Kinsley still clear for the moment? Maybe not. Here comes Neal on the bottom side. Gonna get the run on the inside. He's gonna try to get back up to the front. Wow, Tift did not jump down and block just yet. So you know somewhere along the lines, Tift and Kane are trying to work together here at Talladega.
And meanwhile, 42 are clicking over to 41 laps remaining. So still, it's going to be tight there at the end of that. So you have the 16, the 4, the 82 on the inside. And that's exactly right. What is going through the mind there of the 82? What is it? Because Joshua's going for it, so
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I think he's trying to get clear because, you know, we've seen Neal. He has been very, very aggressive here in this race. We've seen him do numerous things, try to put some blocks on some drivers to try to stay at the front. So I think that's what Neil's trying to do. He's trying to get Merriman to give him a shove, get him clear, and then maybe Neil might start putting a little bit of blocking going on with Tift, and then end up coming back down in front of Merriman and trying to put the block on him. But check it out, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 all the way through the field, fanning out. Some of them is the first driver to jump up to the top is Corey Coyle. He's going to jump up to the top. He's going to get a run. Here comes Jeremy Carter. They're looking 3 wide for the 3rd spot as Corwell really starting to make some hay up here on this top side.
We've seen.
The fence, almost does.
Yeah, he's going to let on some space. He does not. He shut the door. He shut the door. There's nothing there. Nothing there. He cannot go. He had the exit speed. And that 3 abreast, while it is up the top side, here we go. Welcome, of course, to Talladega. You said this is one of the best tracks. We have a caution.
Wow, we got a big caution, big hard contact. Hell of a wreck back here going into turn 3. One car straight into the fence, nose first. That is going to be a 100% use of a fast repair. As you see the car right there, that is him, 59 to Timothy Hake. Or Hoke, excuse me, he will be the one that goes straight into the fence. And check it out, he actually just gets right rear hooked straight into the fence. But, you know, Dean, that's not what the caution was. This right here was the caution. You see the 45 right here. You know, I mean, Michael Smith, I mean, he's going right here. He tries to jump down 9, not able to get out of the gas. Gets straight into the back of him, spins him around. There's the 33. He goes around now. Watch the 59 down here, trying to go around the 9. Now, the 9's already hit the 45, kind of took him out. Here goes the 59. Watch this right here, folks. And I'm telling you, this is very hard to watch. If you got younger viewers at home, you might not want them to see this.
You
Check
called
this out. Big time. Straight into the fence. Bam! Head on into the wall. Very, very hard impact straight into the fence. And I'm telling you, folks, that's slow mode. Even though it is a sim, I mean, you can only think if that would have happened in real life. And, you know, unfortunately, it did happen in real life. Here's full speed.
Yeah, let's go. Boom!
Bam! I mean, just hard contact right there.
He got beef with that fence, my friend, and the fence won.
Yeah, fence won big time right there. And, you know, folks, you know, for some of the, you know, viewers that may not know the reference I'm turning or that I'm talking about with a car going head on to the fence that's how we lost Dale Earnhardt. In that particular instance, obviously, he didn't get right rear hooked into the fence. He got loose on the bottom and then lost it, came right back up. Somebody was there and ended up getting into his right rear, and then he went head on into the wall. But I mean, honestly, I mean, for the older NASCAR fans out there, that's exactly what it looked like right there with shades of Dale Earnhardt's wreck at Daytona. That's exactly what that looked like right there.
I mean, any wreck is always shades of like how it all goes pearl-shaped and any race. And you never want to see anybody actually into the fence, of course. But you got beef, trademark, of course. That's trademarked to you right now. Sorry, Jacob. We already said that one.
Yeah,
I mean, he got beef, or you got beef, or the wall got beef. Anyway, if anybody's got beef, well, forget your chicken and forget your turkey come up Thanksgiving. No gobble, gobble, gobble. You have Jacob, of course, on the microphone here for the Racers Elite Mixed Series. And he, of course, just arrived seconds ago before this race. And I tell you what, my friend, I guarantee anybody knows racing, and who knows Talladega, as you said, it's you. And your first experience of this league, it's the first race of the season of this league. How are you panning out the chances of these drivers there? Now you have Kirby in the lead of this race.
I mean, and not only that, but check out who's right behind him. Ryan Coker. I mean, you know, shades back to a couple of cautions ago, you know, when Joshua Neal got into him, set him for a ride straight into the inside wall. Coker up here running very comfortably right now in the second position. But you know, Dean, you know, this kind of racing, honestly, it takes me back to, I guess you could say, go to a casino and try to play roulette.
I mean, in Las Vegas, and what, this weekend, of course, for the Formula One.
Yeah.
I don't have a couple of $1,000s to spare, unfortunately, and they blocked off every view you possibly get of the road course. Oh, Kirby's gone in.
Oh, well, now, yeah, Kirby, he's going to go in. But, Dean, like I was saying, go to Vegas and play the roulette wheel. I'm sure most of our
I'll
viewers
play
out there would
poker
know
with you,
about a
mate.
roulette
We'll go to the
wheel.
river card, but I know what you mean. Red and black.
Well, yeah, at that point. But, take the red and black out and just put the numbers out there. Put everybody's number out here. Put Coker's number out here. Put Michael Brooks' number out here. Kinsley Smith, Jeremy Carter, Joshua Neal, hell, even Brandon Puffenbarger. All these guys' numbers. Go ahead and put all their numbers on a roulette wheel. Spin the wheel around, drop the damn ball in there, and see where it lands. That's the way I look at super speedways, because you never know who's going to win. You don't even know who's going to win with 3 laps to go. That's why I love this type of racing right here, because you never know who's going to win until the checkered flag flies.
You are so right. You're looking at Brandon at the moment, 7 positions down, but we saw him challenging for the lead of this race. Timothy down here. Sean, you're absolutely right. I mean, this is the great thing you're going to get from oval racing. And if you are tuning in, of course, here in the JP Broadcasting Network, we don't broadcast a lot and a great deal of oval racing here in the Eastern Stars time, because it's different over there in the UK. Obviously, across the pond there in the Atlantic, they like their road courses, open wheel racing, but it is a different ball game. And the fact that I love, as you mentioned, that every person, even going back to the likes of Brandon, Dennis, Sean, have a opportunity with 37 laps to go to win the race. Now, if this was a regular, say GT3, Super Formula Series or any other racing series, that would be practically, you're insane. Unless you're Max Verstappen in behind that wheel, there's no hope in hell. But you will have that possibility here. This is why it's so entertaining. Different ball game, different park, different cars, different series, but it is still Talladega, and it produces entertainment. Let's get racing. Green, green, green.
Yeah, we are ready to rock and roll. Ryan Coker, as we mentioned earlier, one of the one of the guys that ended up getting caught up in one of the cautions. Michael Brooks, talked about him a minute ago. He was 3 laps down. Here he is on the outside of the front row. Green flags in the air. Coker's going to get a good restart, but Brooks gets one just as good as him on the top side. Kenzie Smith down on the bottom. He's going to see if he can shove Coker up to the lead. Jeremy Carter, we saw him a while ago back it hard into the fence and go all the way down to the bottom and back it into the inside fence. Now here he is up here in the 4th spot, trying to go for it, maybe even push it even farther. 3 wide. Brooks gets stuck out on the top side. Kinsley Smith down on the bottom. Here comes Carter with some help from Neal right behind him, and also getting a shove from Noah on this middle lane. Brandon Puffenbarger also back there, maybe trying to close up and make it a 4-horse race on the top side. But Coker's going to advance on the bottom with help from Kinsley Smith and Andrew Tiff.
We're going to ride shotgun right now with Joshua, who's slipping down to 4th. You don't see the car to your left. He's not focusing on the left. He's focusing up on the outside. He says honor, courage, and commitment. That is definitely 100% what you need in Talladega, and that's because of the cars. Look at that. Look at that. I keep putting my hand out at the moment there, trying to hold you. Hold on tight there, Jacob, because this is going to be a fantastic race at Talladega.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic race from the start of the race, from the initial drop of the green flag. And these drivers are really showing some skill out here. But I'm telling you, Ryan Coker has really done some fantastic things, starting from the 17th spot all the way up here to the front. Kinsley Smith started right there in front of him in the 16th spot on the outside row. And here he is running second. But Andrew Tiff, trying to make this top lane work. He's got Neal and Carter behind him. Wow, they are trying to get it going up here on this top side, but Coker not trying to give it away. Here comes Tiff, gets to the door, tries to come down, make a little side draft, but Coker's going to try to advance. He gets clear of Tiff as they come off of turn 2. It's a side-by-side battle for second.
This is going to go down. 34 laps remaining. It's going to click, click, click. Look at that. All drivers are on there, 17 of them, in fact, only 2 retirements, which is fantastic, because I'm telling you gotta love this. Everybody has a chance. If there's a big pile up, and we saw that in the iRacing Top 10 highlights earlier, a few days ago. Yeah, it ain't over yet. Even if you're the last machine, even John at the moment in the 17th place of the 9 machine, if you just jump that like a pool cue, if you're trying to jump a pool ball, You can get that over there. Who's up on the high line on the outside there? But forget about that. Ryan's still in the lead there, and he's getting challenged by Andrew and Kenzie.
Yep, and Andrew's still trying to get it going, and the guy that went all the way to the top, that was Brandon Puffenberger, still trying to make the top lane work, the high side tickler from what I have seen in this race. But here we go. Tiff, he jumps up. Carter tried to go with him. He's going to stay with him. They are really tight formation. Got a lap car right smack dab in the middle of the track, and he jumps down to the bottom at the last minute.
Oh, thank God.
Wow, that was Schulenberger down on the bottom. Wow, he was right in the middle of the track going into turn 3. I'm sure everybody really jumped out of their seats and was very scared about that one. But here comes Carter. Carter's going to shoot the middle. He does not give a damn about it, trying to help Andrew Tiff, as Tiff's going to go to the back. Here he comes. Here comes Jeremy Carter right in the middle lane trying to get the help from Corey Crowell. Tiffed all by himself on the top side.
You called it was going to get a little bit elbows out there. You're not going to get greasy. It's motor racing, of course. If you're not elbows deep in grease, you are not motor racing. You're not motor racing in Talladega. Look at this changes. Look at the speed that we're carrying with Joshua's car currently at the moment. 3 positions gain there. He's in the back of the full car there of Kensley, and it is going for gold at the moment, my friend. You gotta think it there going, can I go up the middle? Can I go up the middle? Can I squeeze in there, guys, please? You know, cha-cha. Hello, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Well, you heard about that one, didn't you? That was the very movie. Oh, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Here we go. Knock, knocking, and 32 laps to go.
And I'll tell you one guy that's trying to knock on the front right now is Tiff, who basically got shoved out of the way by Crowell and company. Here he comes on the top side by guess who? Right behind him, Brandon Puffenberger on the top side. These two all by themselves. Everybody else still trying to form it up in these top and these bottom lanes right here. But Coker holding strong still on that bottom side, still getting the shove from Kinsley Smith. And here comes Tiff on the top, trying to get the shove from Brandon Puffenberger, but Barger and him start to slip back just a little bit. I mean, they got to have some extra help up there if they want to try to advance this top side. As Coker gets away clean, now he jumps up, tries to jump in front of Carter. Here comes Kinsley Smith trying to dive it down and gets into him. Almost turns him going into turn 1. Carter's going to get away with the lead.
Oh, wow. Let's keep going, guys. Keep going. Keep it out of the fence. 59 taps the fence a little bit, goes a little bit wiggly, but up the front, the business end there. Jeremy, 16, 26, 44. 44 still hanging in there. Sarah, smile at the moment. I hope you have a smile on your face. You're about to see 4, maybe 5 cars in Talladega with 30 to go.
Wow, Coker almost got into him, almost sent Carter around, still dooring him as Carter goes up into Neal. Carter comes back down, hits Coker. He is like a pinball in a pinball machine, stuck right between Coker and Neal as Tiff's going to get away. Puffenberger, who we saw way back in the field, he's going to go for the lead. 3 wide, Carter gets stuck in the middle, going to shove Tiff out. Here comes Puffenberger on the top. These guys are racing like it's the last lap, and they still got 30 to go here at Talladega. As Tiff's going to get turned on the bottom side.
Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. We're going to go green, green, green. Guess where Brandon is? Guess where Brandon is? He went up the top side of the wall there. Okay, keep green, please. Keep green, race control. We want to see this one. This is fantastic racing. And this is only the first race of the series here at Talladega. Oh, they called it. Damn you, race control. Darn you.
Damn, I think honestly Tiff was the one that threw the caution right there. He was way back there. Michael Brooks also back there as well. I mean, you know, and Tiff done a fantastic job of saving it. Tiff was all the way down on the apron, and Brooks, I mean, he was just an innocent bystander. Tiff was trying to save it, ended up tagging Brooks in the left rear. Brooks actually got the hard impact of the wall. But, you know, I mean, we'll see it right here on the instant replay. I mean, wow. I mean, that right there, that'll get you blood flowing right there, Dean.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I have to go a little bit back on this one and find out what happened out there. So, Sarah, close your eyes and keep smiling, my lady, because this is called a motor race and you're about to find out what caused the situation. Look at that. I mean, can you do it backwards there, Jacob? I know you're at Fantastic Broadcasting. And you go, yeah, let's go.
Well, here we go. I mean, we talked about Teft right here. Obviously, I mean, hard racing up here at the front. Like I said, these guys was bouncing around like pinballs. Here's Carter. I called this part right here. He shoves it up into the middle, has enough of it. You see Coker actually get a little bit loose down there on the bottom side, and then Coker thinks of it, able to get clear, jumps up right here in front of Kinsley Smith. Tries to jump up even farther. I mean, he sees it in his mirror. He sees Kinsley starting to get close. Kinsley's actually going to shove it and try to go 4 wide. And for a moment, just barely, they're 4 wide. Coker tries to stay with Carter, but the problem is Carter goes down to the bottom. Coker tried to stay off of Neal, comes down, gets into Tift. And then watch this drive right here by Andrew Tift to be able to hold it down on the apron, did not turn it back up into the field. I mean, Dean, there's a lot of drivers at this point. Right there when the car got straight, they would have hooked it back to the right and sent it straight up into the track. But Tift, Brooks, it was unfortunate for Brooks right there at that point. Tift was still trying to gather the car up. Brooks, a little bit of a tag into the wall. Don't think it's going to be that bad. He should be able to go in and get that fixed without a faster pair. But hell of a save by Brooks and Andrew Tift to not make it worse than what it really is. Because, Dean, it's like I said, I've seen numerous drivers get put in that situation on the apron of the racetrack, and then they try to catch the car, and then they ended up overdriving it back to the right too much, sending it straight up into the fence. And then guess what? There's 16 other drivers coming hauling ass on the top side of them, run right into them, and then you got a 16-car pileup.
I agree. I mean, and he did his absolute best, because it's very difficult. Those speeds, of course, you're trying to control the car. It's like jumping on a wild horse, isn't it? Like, it wants to gallop all over the place, and you're like, no, I want to go here, and the horse goes here. That's simply as that. So Brandon goes in, Timothy goes in, and John goes in. We have only 2 retirements, which is fantastic for our first race of the season. But more fantastic than anybody else is that you have the fact now that Jeremy Carter is in the lead of this race. And you know what, those tick-tock, 27 laps. Click over pretty quickly there. Sarah is hopefully smiling. And Sarah actually said it there. That was some fantastic control. Yeah, you know it. And the man, the legend himself, has casted, and a driver, many races there, Jacob. Well, that was excellent control, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's fantastic control, and honestly, that's a statement that I've said in the past. That looked like he was dirt tracking it down there, and I'm sure some of our viewers know a little bit about some dirt tracking where they're slinging it sideways just to try to carry speed and try to get momentum and everything. So I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about on that. But it was a fantastic drive for Andrew Tift, and even though he gets involved in all that, he's still going to come out around the 11th spot. But, Dean, we've talked about this. 11th's not that bad. Granted, it's right there in the middle of the pack. I've said before, I wouldn't want to be in the middle of the pack. But we've seen Andrew be able to put it wherever he wants to go. We've seen him go all the way to the front from where he was at before. So, I've got, full faith in this 16 to get back up here to the front. And, Dean, honestly, obviously this is my first race calling with y'all in this series. I don't even have a clear-cut favorite. Any of these guys can win. We've seen Jeremy Carter up front. We've seen him do some crazy things up front. We've seen Joshua Neal up front do some crazy things. Kinsley Smith obviously started 16th in that number 15 Napa Chevy, but he's been at the front for numerous portions of this race. Noah Tasman sitting in 4th. At the first part of the race, he wasn't even relatively seen. We never talked about Noah. Now here he is up here riding 4th. Corey Crowell, obviously, he started on the pole. He's went from the back to the front, as well as Michael Smith and Alex Tift, and even Andrew Tift, Dennis Kane. Hell, he started 2nd. He's up here in 8th. He can easily jump his way up here, as well as Gordon Spain, Sean Merriman, the whole field, even Brandon Puffenberger back in the 13th spot. Dean, it's not over by a long shot.
And Brandon loves the high line, doesn't he? He's fast and furious, the number 5 machine. See what he can do and produce some of those results, because he has gained so many positions. At one point, he got a lead of this race, didn't he? And that's all that matters. And all that matters really the other day, my friend, is 26 laps to go. You do it when Barty waves the flag. At the moment, we're going to be Barty waving the flag again. So, well, favorite picks out there. Sarah, smile. You got a smile on your face? Who are you smiling for the most? As we're going to get green racing here for the first race of the season here for the Racers Elite Mixed Series.
And here we go. As I mentioned, Jeremy Carter and Joshua Neal, two of the drivers that have put on a hell of a show here tonight. The whole field's put on a hell of a show for the first race of the season here at Talladega. Jeremy Carter gets away. Very good jump by the number 26. Jumps out in front of Joshua Neal. Right behind him, Kinsley Smith in a side-by-side battle with Noah Tasman right there on the top side. Corey Crowell's going to stick it on the bottom side, roll right in behind Kinsley. So Corey will jump up a spot. Here comes Alex Tift. He's going to jump up another spot. Here comes Kinsley. Jumps up to the top. Corey thought about going with him, but it looks like they're going to try to hang him out to dry. Noah tried to get up to the back of the 15 and try to keep this top lane going. But wow, Corey just straight up screwed the 15 at that point. Wanted to go with him, hung him out. Now we got another caution.
Oh, we do. A little bit further back. We'll get that. Come on, guys. Let's go green. But it's called a race, isn't it? And they always say that cautions breed cautions, safety cars breed safety cars, and it has. And unfortunately, we'll delay a little bit further, but we'll find out exactly what happened. I'd have to say it's a little bit further back, probably around the likes of this area. We're looking at here, my friend, is we're going back to the car of Gordon, 33. There it is. You get tapped by 16 then, of Ryan. Sorry, my apologies. Of Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew may have got into him. Wow, what a ride right there by Sean Merriman. I mean, hell of a ride by him, goes straight up. But, honestly, I think all of that right there, I mean, Gordon was just trying to ride on the bottom. I think he checked up way early. You'll see it. I mean, he just basically slams on the brakes. And then, obviously Andrew, nowhere for him to go, ends up tagging Gordon. Gordon goes for a wild spin all the way up the track. And, I mean, that's unfortunate. It's like I talked about with the plows, but honestly, Merriman had absolutely nothing to do with any of this. This actually happened behind him. What happened to Merriman? Check this out. Merriman, here he comes with the 16. 33 checks up, 16 hits him. Check out Brandon Puffenbarger. He tried to check up. Merriman checked up to try not to run over the 16. Puffenbarger hits Merriman, sends him up into the fence. Wow, unfortunately, two Budweiser throwback American flag cars, both of them getting involved in the accident on Veterans Day. Unfortunate to see that right there. I mean, you hate to see that. You really do.
You do with 23 to go. Now, a lot of people in pit road at the moment. Brenner's gone in. We knew that one. John, Gordon, Kirby, Kensley. Now, is this potentially, if you're going to go green to the end, the last pit stops? They'll take damage and they'll take repairs. Fast repairs, you said 4 are available to them. So good luck if you don't have any more on that one. That would be pretty much game over at this point. But, I'll tell you what, they're going to have fresh tires and an ego to boost your way around Talladega.
I guarantee you right now, those guys that just went in right there, barring something crazy, barring them get involved in an accident or get involved in, any type of skirmish or getting in the fence or whatever, if they're able to keep their cars clean, I think right there, the pit guys, everybody at the pit box, they're already loading up all the hand tools and everything, saying to hell with it, we're ready to go to the house. This thing's over with. Merriman may have actually ran out of fast repairs. He is still on pit road. He may be trying to save one more. I mean, like you said, Dave, we still got 23 laps to go. This race is not over yet, but as far as I can see, there comes Merriman. Now he's going to jump out of the
Signing
pits.
autographs, man. He was out there to the fans.
Yeah,
he went
he's
out
getting
there.
a couple of them right
I saw his
there
pit
at the
crew holding a Sharpie out there, and he says, okay, let's sign up. It's all about the fans, all about the entertainment, the ATM machine there, obviously with the fantastic livery representing the United States of America, which every single driver on the grid is. No bloody Aussies in here, but that's fine. We already experienced that the other night, didn't we, in another racing league? An Aussie won, by the way, just spoiler alert, but still.
Yep.
Let's go.
Outback Kid, that's what we was calling him.
Yeah, you coined him, didn't you? Well, can you coin Jeremy Carter then? If he can get it done, Hal, from Bloomington, Indiana. He's like, bring on Indiana, gentlemen.
I think we can come up with something. Yeah, I think we can come up with something for Jeremy Carter. I think we can come up with something for any of these guys that was out here that done a fantastic job. I mean, this has been a fantastic race, but it is not over yet. As here we go. Wow, a lot of them restarting on the bottom lane. Carter gets a fantastic restart. Joshua Neal will have to try to figure out a way as he jumps down to the bottom. Here comes Crowell on this top side. Gets a great run. He's going to try to pull the draft off of Jeremy Carter. Carter goes to the top, drops back down to the bottom. May have to jump back up top as here comes some more momentum. Andrew Tiff back there with Michael Smith pushing him. Not too far back, Kinsley Smith in the 15 trying to go with him. As here comes the top. Here comes Michael Smith in the 45 to the top side. Corey Crowell going to get stuck in the middle. May have no help. Andrew Tiff up to help Michael Smith. But Jeremy Carter and the 82 down there on the bottom, Neal, all of them still tried to figure out a way to try to get around Corey Crowell.
Yeah, Corey, and who's in the middle at the moment? Oh, he's tucked in behind there, isn't it? 26 machine there. And that's what you need to be. You can't be left alone. It's kind of feel like you've gone to a party at the moment, like, where's my guest? 45 at the moment is in the middle. Up on the high line there is Andrew. This is going to be interesting. Jeremy's going to get a push. You need to call this one, my friend, because I'm not that familiar with the fantastic oval racing, especially Talladega.
Wow, I'm going to tell you right now, Michael Smith almost got turned head on to the fence because Tiff had to get out of the gas, had Kinsley Smith all up in his back bumper. Smith tried to jump up in front of Tiff, but thought better of it because Tiff was coming with a full head of steam. They're still trying to find a way around Michael Smith. He is straight up holding up these guys up here on this top side. Tiff trying to get by, Kinsley Smith trying to get by up front. Jeremy Carter still holding on to the lead as Corey Crowell right behind him with Joshua Neal, Noah Tasman, as well as some other drivers. Check this out, Alex Tiff up here on the top side. He's going to get help. I'm sure that's his relative in the 16 trying to run with him, but Michael Smith in the 45 holding them up as they're going 3 wide right behind him. Anybody's still got a shot to win this thing. 20 to go here at Talladega.
Oh, it's going to be 20 fantastic laps to go. 3 abreast almost. I wouldn't be surprised if you go 4 abreast on this one. You're going to need a smile on your face there, Sarah. Teff 16, of course. Well, Teff is in this race. We're looking at Teff at the moment. Teff is the 43 outside on the fence there. On the very inside, Jeremy still leading this race. But look at the extra spin he gets. He's getting a shove there from the 16. And now there's your 4. There is your 4. Almost 5. You wanted it, you got it. Oh,
my goodness. That is usually what happens. 4 wide. It should work, but this track is wide enough to make it work, but as soon as I saw the 4 wide, Dean, I had a bad feeling about it right there. I mean, Brendan Puffenberger, hell of a move to send it right there on the inside of Michael Smith, but I think Smith may have came down just a tick. We'll see it on the instant replay. Yeah, from what I'm seeing on my end, Smith did come down, tagged him in the right rear. There you see the contact. Puffenberger straight up into the fence. Alex Tiff able to get away with just minor damage. Some of these other guys, Kinsley Smith also, as well as Timothy Hoke, also on the bottom, they end up getting involved. But check it out right here. 4 wide coming at you right here at Talladega Super Speedway. Brendan Puffenberger trying to roll right here. Noah's on his inside. Then you got Michael Smith and Alex Tiff up top. Here comes Andrew Tiff. He's going to go back to 4 wide. Watch the 45. Barely. I mean, it gets tight right there. I mean, very tight. I don't know, Dean. Actually, that might have been Brendan Puffenberger. I mean, he was getting shoved down onto the 56 right there. I think Puffenberger may have come up, but he had to, or else he was going to be all up inside of Noah's right rear or right side door.
Let's check it in a slow-mo as a driver's perspective, and let's have a look at this one. So he's steering. Obviously, you've got Carter who's right, remember. Carter who's left. He's in the middle of this one. It's a 4 abreast at this point. So we're looking through his vision. Where does he go? What does he do?
He's still trying to hold. Right? Yeah, he never turned.
No.
He never turned the wheel. That's what I thought it was. But it's hard to call it right there when they're going into the corner because usually you think that as early as that they're going into the corner that he would be starting to turn the wheel. So that's what I was kind of sitting here thinking was maybe he didn't turn enough going in, and maybe he slid up a little bit into Michael Smith. Now, granted, you could sit there and make a case for it being Michael Smith's fault. And obviously, folks, we're not sitting here saying, that it's, anything intentional. I mean, it was a hell of a race right there, 4 wide, and that's what you love to see at Talladega. So obviously nothing intentional, but, we're just trying to, give you an idea of what the cause of it was. It could have been Puffenberger coming up, but Michael Smith, he had a lot of room on the top side. He could have come up just a little bit right there where Andrew Tift was. He could have come up just a little bit. But from my eyes, from what I'm seeing, I still think it might have been Michael Smith that came down and right hooked him straight into the fence, honestly. I thought it was Puffenberger. Actually, I thought it was Smith at first. Then I thought it was Puffenberger, but then after I rewatched it, I think Michael Smith may have came down, got it in that right rear, sent him straight in the fence.
Yeah, it's going to be one for... And this is the thing, too. Race Control will always look over this, like we are looking over the replays. But just as I was actually calling that, wasn't it? Getting super excited about the fact that we're 4 abreast. And not just one row, we're looking at 2 rows. And inevitably, what happens to with that side draft? Like, it's just a little tweak of the steering wheel, isn't it? Bang, all of a sudden, you're in big trouble. And that's the reason why you risk it for the biscuit when you're going 4 abreast.
I agree with you. I mean, I think that's what it is. And, honestly, that might have been what it was. I mean, granted, we've said, a lot of net code happens here. But, net code was nowhere in that. But I will say this. When you got 4 guys lined up, one here, one here, one here, one here, all of them 4 wide. That arrow in these cars, and folks, I've been racing, sim racing on iRacing for about the past 3 to 5 years, give or take. So, I haven't got as much experience as some drivers, but I've got a lot of experience in this stuff. When you get 4 wide here at Talladega, especially in these cars, that wind, that air, it will play tricks on you, especially in these cars. I mean, it will throw you for a loop. It will get you all jumbled up, get you jacked up and everything else. So you're just trying to hold the wheel as steady as you can. And just one little bit of a turn of the wheel can be disastrous. And I think that's exactly what it was. I mean, you could say it was the air, but Dean, I honestly think, I honestly think it, the 45, Michael Smith being up there in that 3rd lane with Tift on his top side, I think he had a lot of room up there. Smith could have came up just a little bit, give some room, but I mean, Dean, we've talked about it right here. We're looking at 16 laps to go, 15 laps to go when they take the green right here. Your give a damn's out the window. You're going for it at this point. You've got to go and try to get up here and win this race.
16 to go. And you know what? This is the very man, isn't it? The number 9 machine that likes the fence. He's brought it some flowers, and he wants to take it on a date. Well, Talladega is the date you want to be at, that one. Alex is still back in this one. Don't count him out for the 43 machine. After those incidents, and this is I love about truck racing, NASCAR racing, of course, for the Elite Mixed Series, it's still a race on, and anybody can win. Got Gordon here, catching the back of the pack here, 33 machine. Wouldn't be surprised. Puffenberger can go once again up into the fence. He loves the fence there. But it's all about who's going to hold on tight and hold on very, very tight. Because 16 laps, blink and you miss it. I hope you get your popcorn all fired up in the microwave. If you do have any friends or family are racing on Wi-Fi, and tell them, 1, not race on Wi-Fi. 2nd, if they are racing on Wi-Fi, don't fire up the microwave for your popcorn right now. You might interfere and give them the blinking light of death. But we are going to go green, green, green. Thank you very much, Jacob, for stepping in the very last minute. Man, I can't believe you can fly that fast, but you can.
Yeah, it's amazing what some of us rednecks can pull off. I guess so. I guess you could say that, Dane. It's amazing what we can do and be able to get down here for a show here at Talladega. And folks, it's been a fantastic race every single lap of this race. But folks, we are not done yet. Here coming to 15 laps to go, Jeremy Carter, Corey Crowell going to be to his top side. Joshua Neal right behind him with Noah Tasman, as well as Dennis Kane and John Schulenbacher also back here. John, he's been way back there, a couple of laps down throughout this race. Now here he is inside the top 10, getting his name called. But here we go. Green flag. Carter tried to get away. Here comes Joshua Neal right behind him. Here comes Corey Crowell. He's going to try to make a move. Where will Corey go? Corey's going to get a run. We've seen him go up to the top a good bit. He decides to think better of it, backs away. Noah's going to back away as well. One guy does not care. He will go to the top. That's Dennis Kane up there. Here comes John Schumacher as well in the 9. And check out Alex Tift up here in the 43 as well with his, I'm assuming, kinfolk Andrew Tift right behind him. I'm telling you, here we go. I mentioned it, crunch time is in. Here we go. They are trying to go to the front, and Dennis Kane's trying to lead them there.
15 to go, and Jeremy is leading this one at the moment. Joshua Neal, so it's side by side. He's got the draft behind him. He's getting pushed at the moment, but it's all about who's going to be risking it for the biscuit on the outside. That's number 4. That's Dennis. He's got on the outside line, but Dennis is all left alone at the moment. Unfortunately, he has not invited anybody else to his party. Can he get the pace on? I'm not quite sure. Laps are ticking, 14 to go.
Yeah, Dennis really got to get some help back here. I mean, John backed off a good bit. Now he's going to get to the back bumper. They're trying to formulate a run the best that they can. Kane up on the top side. Got Schumacher right behind him. Alex Tift, Andrew Tift, Brandon Pufferberger as well on this top side. Here they come down, try to pull this inside, try to pull the side draft, get the air working on the bottom side, maybe pull it back just a little bit. Jeremy Carter's still up here trying to get rolling. Here goes Andrew Tift to the top side. Brandon Pufferberger, he's back there. You know he's going up here. You know he wants to get up here to this top side and help him. There he goes. Sure enough. Here comes John Schumacher. He tries to jump up, but Andrew Tift. Now the 9 jumps up in front of the 16. Here comes Pufferberger right behind him. Now we've got a 3-line race as Jeremy Carter's still leading with Joshua Neal shoving him.
He could get a little side draft off here, off the wall as well too. So still Jeremy and Joshua are leading this one. He's deep into the wall, deep into the fence at the moment. And this is going to get, as you said, let's go 3. Why not 4? 3 into 4? Do they fit?
They're looking for, and Alex Tift almost come down and got into Timothy Hoke. Now the 9, he's going to go way to the back. He has no help. Alex Smith, excuse me, that's Kinsley Smith, my bad. I mean, wow, he is trying to get his way up in there. Here comes Dennis Kane, though. Got the 2 Tift guys right behind him. They're going to try to shove this 4 up here and get themselves in the best possible spot as they're coming around this time. It'll be 11 laps to go. Jeremy Carter still leads. Joshua Neal still sitting second, but not anymore. Here comes the 4. Dennis Kane on the top side with the 43 and 16 trying to help. Now where will Jeremy Carter go? Will he jump up and try to block the top? Dennis Kane going to try to get to the door. Barely to the right rear corner. Now side by side at the start-finish line.
12 to go. 12 to go. It's going to be scooting through quickly. And now they're going 2 abreast. They were going a 1, 2, 3 single file with the rest of the back of the field there trying to get an advantage. And just like that, Dennis Kane's in the lead of this race. You got Jeremy, Alex, Joshua. You'd have to, I'd blink and you miss it this one. Flip a coin, roll a die at the moment. What do you want? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alex is the biggest gainer, of course, 43 machine. Keep an eye out on what's going to happen here at the moment. Jake, welcome along. Are you excited? First race of the season. Who can win it?
Everybody can win it right here at Talladega. Every single one of these drivers sitting here running has a shot to win it. But I'll say this, Dennis Kane and the 2 Tifts, they basically led a bunch of drivers to jump up here to this top side. They were the only 3 drivers, and they made a run all the way up to Jeremy Carter right here at the front of the field. But everybody else saw that happening. You have Merriman, he jumped up. I think Kinsley Smith also, he jumped up. Schumacher was able to jump back in line and get with him, as well as Kirby Wainscott back here as well. Now, here we go. Kinsley Smith, he's going to try to ride the pine. He's going to go to the pet house, try to jump to the top. Andrew Tift not able to jump up and make the block. Merriman couldn't make it anyway. Well, Alex Tift jump up and try to put the block on him as Dennis Kane still leading here at Talladega. It is fixing to get pandemonium and crazy here on these final 10 laps.
And you got a few drivers going bold and brave on the outside fence. Why not? Because you're getting close to 10 to go, almost 9 to go. So you got the green machines, the mean machines, Dennis, Jeremy, and Alex all battling it out there. Don't forget Joshua and Andrew going for the 26, 82, and 16. Now we're going 3 abreast now, and this is going to get dangerous territory.
Here we go. Kenzie Smith still trying to work the top side. He's got Brandon Puffermarker trying to get back there. Maybe try to help him out. Here goes Dennis Kane. He's going to get put in a bad spot. Here they go 4 wide. Alex Tip going to shove it in the middle. Dennis Kane's going to go to the back. Kinsley Smith going to get the help from Brandon Puffermarker as Jeremy Carter still leads with Joshua Neal in behind. They're still looking 4 wide coming off of turn 4.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I didn't think it was even possible here at Talladega, but you got to get it here. Jeremy's now in the lead at the moment, getting a push there from Joshua in the background. Keep an eye out on Alex on the outside there. He's coming down. 9 to go. 9 to go. You love Talladega, my friend. Well, you live around Talladega. Is this an exciting race?
Dude, this is an absolute fantastic race right here, Dean. I'm happy that you called me to get into this bad boy, as any of these guys still got a shot to win it. Kinsley Smith still trying to roll this top side, still got Puffermarker trying to help him. Now it's gonna be Dennis Kane. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get all these numbers lined up. But now Alex Tip, he's gonna get the shove. Puffermarker gets stuffed in the fence. He goes all the way to the back. Kinsley Smith's lost his help. Now the 43, Alex Tip. He's gonna get the shove. Big Rick coming off of turn 4 as they all start crashing. One over on his lid, the 45. Michael Smith end over end going down into the entrance of pit road. Caution once again after a hell of a crash off of turn number 4.
Damn, I really wanted a green to the end on that one, but unfortunately we didn't. So we're going to get a sprint race to the very end. And let's go back and have a little replay. Exactly what happened. You said Michael Smith. It seemed right. That was good one. It had a little bit of adventure. Let's find out what's happened. Oh, there it is. Oh my God. Sometimes I even feel like in a live broadcast that we shouldn't even show that one to make sure the driver's actually okay. Hopefully, thankfully. Yeah. Thankfully in the virtual world, we don't have to pause just in respect for the driver. But you know what, Michael? You're in a racing sim. Let's find out what happened.
Yeah, I mean, and right here, it's going to be Merriman and Noah right here. It's going to come up the racetrack just a little bit. Gets into the left rear. I mean, Noah came up. Merriman was there. And unfortunately for Kinsley Smith, he was straight in the middle of this. Here comes Kinsley back down. There goes Michael all the way off of the ground, folks. That car wasn't even touching the ground. Air just got straight up under it after Kinsley Smith tagged him. But I'll give him this. He gets a 10 for the landing, Dean. Able to get it back on the wheels, drive it. Obviously, he will get that black flag wave because he hit the cone going in. I mean, hell, he didn't have any choice. He had to hit the cone the way that he was going right there. But, wow, what a flip and able to drive away for Michael Smith. But all of that, unfortunately, you see it once again. Noah comes up, gets into the car right beside of him, sends him up into the wall. And then here goes Kinsley Smith. That's Merriman all the way up. And then there goes Kinsley Smith down the track. Nails Michael Smith. Wow, what a flip right there as Michael Smith lands hard on the roof of his car. I mean, that right there, that will be a highlight reel to clip right there, Dean.
Yeah, not for his friends and family. Well, maybe, of course. It's almost like looking at the Roman Grosjean crash, isn't it? When he, into a firestorm and a fireball. What about riding on board? Now, that's experience for you as a driver, my friend. So we're going to get on board and feel what it feels like as an experience. And thankfully, if you've never had a crash before in your life, thankfully this is only a virtual one. What happens here?
Yeah, I mean, he's just holding on right here at this point. I mean, you're not really seeing anything crazy. I mean, you see everything kind of get crazy. There's where the craziness happens. You're just trying to get as low as you can, then bam! I mean, it just happens that quick. I mean, he tried to get down as low as he possibly could. And, honestly, I mean, even if he went a little bit lower, I still think Kinsley would have got him in the right rear and flipped him over right there. I mean, he done what he thought he had to do. I mean, honestly, that was his only option, Dean. He couldn't go to the right. He couldn't go high because everybody else was up there wrecking. Noah was up there wrecking. Merriman was up there wrecking. He couldn't go high. So he had to go low, which is what everybody else was doing in front of him. Unfortunately, Kenzie Smith comes down, tags him in the right rear, sends him for a ride. But I'll say this, I mean, from what I'm seeing right now, it looks like he's still on the racetrack. I don't even think he went in right there. Now, I don't know if it's because he didn't have a faster pair or he knows that this race is about over with. But Michael Smith did not go into the pits yet. He has not made a pit stop yet. Currently sitting in 10th after that hellacious flip right there off of turn 4. Michael Smith,
Oh, yeah.
keep an eye on this 45. He still might have a shot to win this thing if all hell breaks loose in these last 5 laps.
Is that a little, ding on that front of the car is going to be enough? I mean, why not? If it feels that he's not going to be a lap down, essentially, I don't think it'll be a lap down, 6 to go. We do have the other drivers that have just jumped into pit road that we saw. So, well, Michael's gambling it, risking it for the biscuit. Why not? I mean, you're in P9, my friend. You're in a great position. Here's Dennis sitting there in pit road. There is essentially your driver that's a lap down. That's P13. That's Sean. And can he catch the back of the pack time? I presume he will. So with 5 to go, and he's not the only one. Have perhaps Ryan there. It's very slow behind. That's the pace car, isn't it? Not waving him through. No, it's caught the pack. So, but one thing important, of course, is Jeremy Carter. The Indiana driver, of course, is like, bring on Indianapolis 500. Well, 5 to go, my friend. Subtract 2 zeros from that. He may very much be wrapping up the first race win for the Races Elite Mixed Series Round 1.
And, you know, he's done a fantastic job from what I've seen tonight. He's been able to keep that number 26 car up at the front of the field, not try to get into too much accidents. Granted, he has got caught up in some accidents, but Dean, at this point, who the hell hasn't? Every damn one of them's got caught up in something, Dean. Every single one of them has got caught up in an accident somehow, some way. If you did not get caught up in an accident and you were in this race, guess what? You didn't start. That's the way I look at it. Every single one of these drivers, you know, they have got caught up in something. If you did not get caught up in an accident, you didn't even grid up. You basically was just here for the practice, for the show, the whole 9 yards. And then at that point, when they gridded up, you just said to hell with it, pulled the car in the garage. I think that's what it is. So everybody's got involved in an accident some way, somehow this evening. Carter's been in a couple. Neil's been in a couple. Alex Tiff's been in a couple. Corey Crowell's also been in a couple. Well, here they are, the first 2 rows. The pace car starts to pull off of the track. Jeremy Carter, Joshua Neal, Alex Tiff, Corey Crowell, Andrew Tiff going to be right behind Alex, and then Timothy Hope going to be up here. That's the front 3 rows. Carter's going to try to stack them up here on this restart. Green flag is in the air. Carter's going to get away big time. Jumps up in front of the 82. Crowell's going to try to go to the top side, but Neil did not have any of it. Jumped up and made the block. Here comes the Tiffs. Alex Tiff down to the bottom. Wow, the 82 tried to come down, give him a door, but now the 16 going to try to get up there and give that 43 some help, as the Tiffs are going to see if they can gang up right here on Jeremy Carter.
They are ganging up big time on Jeremy. I feel like he's a bully at school, isn't it? The school at the moment of Alex and Joshua. I think Alex is on the cards here to win this one. 16 positions gained, 17 to Barney, 4 to win the race. That's it. That's all you need there, Alex. Jeremy's going to hold on. Give it to Jeremy. He has been holding on so hard in the lead of this race, but he's got a gaggle of cars and the gaggle of competition. And, well, it's called a motor race, and it's fantastic to watch. Any predictions out there in the chat? Time is to shine, and there's somebody off at the moment, and we have a caution.
Carter's going to get spun, as well as the number 10 of Kirby Wainscott's going to get spun. Carter going down to the infield grass, almost hits the inside wall, got a little bit of a tap from the 43 of Alex Tift, and once again we're going to be under caution. Unfortunate for the 26 of Jeremy Carter. Had a shot to win this thing. And then check it out, a couple of guys back here, as we mentioned, Kirby getting spun, as well as Timothy Hope getting involved. Check out Carter right here, getting it woed up. Oh, wow, slams on the brakes before he hits the inside wall. Check it out one more time. 43, Alex Tift drives right up to the back bumper, tries to give him a shove right there in the tri-oval. And Dean, that's honestly, we talked about some bump drafting. That's a place you really don't want to do a lot of bump drafting, is because when you bump somebody and they're turning, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to lift the back tires off the ground. They're already going to be turning down to the inside. Bam, you're going to spin them around every single time.
And doing something nice to perhaps give you an opportunity to win the race at the end there. You have to have the fence as well at the end of the day, but a lot of work to do. Hey, maximum risk and maximum reward. That's why it's a different motorsport, as you mentioned, and as I am learning out there as well. You try that there in open wheel Formula racing. Forget it. You know, one car's in the fence and the other car's nowhere in the race. So, yep. Helping each other is a different ball game. Now, Joshua in the lead. 7 positions gained. Andrew back there. Corey and Alex back in P4. Now, what's happening for the other drivers going in pit road? This is interesting. Why is there a gaggling of drivers in pit road? We're literally have 3 to go.
I think they may be going down and maybe getting 4 fresh tires. Some of them might have got caught up in some damage. They may be going down fixing damage. You see Kirby Wainscott, Timothy Hoke also going down pit road right here trying to get some of their damage fixed. Even Jeremy Carter, he's going to come down. Even though he didn't really hit anything, I think he might have smoked the tires when he got spun right there. So he's going to come down and get 4 fresh tires. They'll send him back out. Of course, Kirby also, he's going to go in. He got spun, so he's going to go down and get them as well as Timothy Hoke. So they want to go down and get those 4 fresh tires because, granted, they slid the hell out of them. All 3 of them did when all 3 of them spun right there in the trial. Some of these other guys, Michael Brooks, they may be going in trying to get some tires, as well as Sean Merriman also. He got a little bit of damage from that last caution. May try to get some of it done. Some of these guys may not have a fast repair left, Dean. So they may be going down there trying to fix what damage they can. As here we go, we are doubling up for a restart. Joshua Neal is going to be on the bottom. Andrew Tift, we talked about him when he got spun and got sent to the back. Now here he is on the top side. Corey Corwell is going to be there, as well as Alex Tift. He will be right behind Andrew. So these 2 Tifts right here have found one another. I think this might be bad for Joshua Neal right here, because if these 2 Tifts can get locked up and get gone right here, they may be real hard to beat here this evening.
No team communication between the Tifts, please. All right? There's no cards laid down in this poker table, no bluffing. Let's see how it's going to go. Probably made there in the chat or not. But you're right. You work together. They mean very much way. But then again, isn't it? If you are siblings or your family members, don't you want to, like, you know, Jacob, I'm not your family member, my friend, but if we're you and me, wheel to wheel, who's going to win a race? I'm going to try to beat you. Regardless.
Yeah, I mean, that's my, play on that. I mean, especially, obviously you want to beat the other drivers out there, but, if you got kinfolk out there racing against you, that just brings, a little bit more of an incentive, especially if both of y'all live in the same household. I mean, because then you can really have some bragging rights for the whole week going into the next race. So I'm sure that's exactly what Alex is thinking about.
Tips at the moment, anything you don't want to do for, household duties or anything, you're like, I just place that little friendly family bet there of something that you want your sibling to do or not, and then lay your cards on the table right now, because guess what? You lay it only if you can win the race. Only if you win the race, because, one person to stop, and that's the mighty 82 machine. And you know why? Because it's in the Navy, my friend, and the Navy the USA have the best Navy on the planet. So let's see if we can bring it, gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, and, Dean, honestly, here at Talladega, this might actually be a little bit different because they can help one another. They can get up there, push one another, draft one another, try to shove one another to the lead. So both of them may actually have a little bit of a game plan to try to get at least one of them a win. So, obviously you want to beat your kinfolk, like I said, but in this instance right here, you want to make sure at least one of you gets it. But then if you can get 1, 2, and then race it out for the win, that's what you want to do. But you still want to try to get the other brother or family member, whatever that may be, to try to get them in position to win the race. I mean, at least that's how I would want to be on it. Now depending on how that household is, they may end up wanting to wreck one another. I don't know, but the way they've been doing and the way it's showing right here as they getting lined up for this restart, Alex is trying to time this right here. That way he can get in behind Andrew and give him a good shove right here. So I think they are going to be working together big time right here on this
Jacob,
restart.
they're going to go green, 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 my friend. And whether or not you have a wife at the moment, would you yield to let your wife win the race? I'm pretty sure she'll be able to beat you in anything now, Jacob. Let's see if she can beat you in casting. The final 3 laps to go here for the JP Broadcasting Network for the first race of the Elite Races Mixed Series.
Here we go. Joshua Neal's going to get a fantastic jump. Andrew Tift, not a good jump, but Alex Tift all up in his back bumper. Corey Corwell, he's going to be down on the bottom. Here goes Neal. He's going to jump up, try to make the block. But Andrew Tift's not going to lift one bit, as Alex Tift's going to shove him as they go into turn 1. Neal jumps back down in front of Corwell. Here goes Tift with Tift on the top side, and here comes Brandon Puffenbarger on the top side to try to help him. He may look down to the middle and try to take it 3 wide, but not able to do it. Andrew Tift going to the lead now. Alex Tift trying to go for second as they go into 3.
It's going to be a family battle of the Tifts at the moment, unless Joshua can do anything about it. Josh is squeezing between them at the moment. So it's Joshua just on a nose there, the 82 machine, 43 behind his brother is similarly whatever it takes. We're going to come down to 2 to go, and who wants it at the moment? And if they do happen to have a little of a family disagreement over Thanksgiving coming up soon, my friend, well, Joshua, and look at that. Look who is in the background there, the number 5 machine. He loves the high line. He's going for it.
Well, Alex gets down into Joshua, almost gets him turned. Joshua's going to go all the way to the back. Andrew Tift's going to hold on to the race lead. Here goes Alex Tift. He tries to jump down, tries to make the block. Corwell goes below the line. Puffenbarger's going to get spin. Huge accident, hard in the inside wall, but we're still looking at the race lead as they're still coming back for the win.
Oh,
the
no.
nine's going to jump to the bottom. Big pile up off of turn number 3 and turn number 4. Still green is John Schuenbarger still with the race lead as we're coming to the line. Looks like the 9 is going to get it unless the guy behind him, Tasman, can get to him. Not able to do it.
Nope.
Wow, Schuenbarger from numerous laps down, the 9 gets the win here at Talladega this evening.
That was amazing, isn't it? You gotta stick it. You gotta get it done. He did it. He delivered. You couldn't even predict that one. If you were to lay all your bets in Las Vegas right now, I guarantee you're talking about a roulette, my friend. While you spun the wheel, did you handle on a 9? Well, he did. John landed on a 9.
I did not have it on the 9. I'll be honest with you, folks. I mean, granted, like I said, any of these guys had a shot to win it, but I honestly thought that I was going to think, Jeremy Carter was going to end up possibly getting the win. But then when the Tifts got hooked up, they was storming up through there, trying to get up there, and they had a shot. They really did. I mean, all of this, honestly, Dean, if we can go all the way back to the white flag is when all of this really got crazy.
We will for a brief second, as we will still celebrate John's victory to this one, but yeah, it all went pole-shaped. That's why I'm amazed sometimes. This is the little differences that you're going to get when you're talking about oval racing and, of course, road course racing. Do you want to risk it that much for the dying stages just to get 1 or 2 points? Or, guess what? In this situation that's coming up at the moment, my friend, nobody's getting any points. Well, they're getting a lot less points, put it this way.
I mean, check this out right here. I mean, this is the whole last 2 laps right here. I mean, the 2 Tifts, they get lined up on the top. You got Brandon Puffenbarger still trying to show them. Noah not too far back tries to go with him and keep the momentum on the top side. You see the 82 try to jump up there. Neal try to get up there and maybe pull him back just a little bit. Crowell back there trying to get up, maybe try to give him a little bit of help. Here they curve to the tri-oval to try to take the white flag. And folks, when they hit the white flag, that's it, regardless of what happens. The 2 Tifts on the top side, and check it out. Alex tries to jump down. They think they're clear, jumps down into Neal, gets him sideways and gets him around. But check it out. That's not where all hell breaks loose right here as they come off of turn 2. Puffenbarger on the top with Noah. Crowell down here as well. We'll see what happened. Crowell goes all the way down below the yellow line. Puffenbarger actually gets tagged from Noah then they get sent down to the inside wall and then back up front. Andrew was in a bad spot. He was completely fixing to get pulverized by the rest of the field. And then you see the 9, he jumps down below the line. And then everybody gets into this one right here. Andrew ends up getting nailed big time, T-boned, and he gets T-boned once again by Ryan Coker. He goes around and then all the way to the finish. The 9 end up getting the win. He is sitting in the grass. I think he might have blew the engine after his burnout.
Yeah, I probably did the burnout while we're looking at the replay, so I do apologize there, John. You did a fantastic job in taking the victory because you got to be in it to win it, and you certainly was in it to win it. Fantastic results. And speaking of results, let's go over those results because it all happens in a blink of an eye.
So John Schulenbacher will get the win here this evening in the number 9. Fantastic finish for him. I mean, a guy that came from numerous laps down to jump back up here and steal the win here at Talladega. Noah Tasman will get in that second spot. How about Sean Merriman? Fantastic run for him and for Noah. Both these guys started outside the top 10. Noah started 15th. Sean started in the 13th position. They will get second and third. Kirby Wainscott will get fourth with Michael Smith. Check that out right there. The 45 that was on his lid a couple of cautions ago. He's going to end up with a top 5 here this evening. Kinsley Smith will get 6th, with Corey Crowell will get 7th. Alex Tift, unfortunate for him, he will end up finishing 8th with Andrew Tift right behind him in that 9th spot. Joshua Neal had a hell of a save over in turn 1 on the last lap. He will end up finishing 10th. Jeremy Carter, he will get 11th. Hate it for him. I mean, he was putting on a show up at the front of the field, but he'll end up 11th with Gordon Spain in 12th. Michael Brooks gets 13th. Timothy Hoke will get 14th. He was the last driver on the lead lap. Brandon Puffenbarger will get 15th with Ryan Coker in 16th. Dennis Kane 17th. Brian Tiffany 18th. And Diego Rodriguez is the 19 cars that had the field here this evening.
And what a fantastic broadcast for the first broadcast of the season there, Jacob. Once again, I have so much admiration for you. I basically just said, hey, you know what? There's a private jet waiting for you, and you make your way down Talladega. You're like, hey, you have to send a private jet. I just jump in my car and drive down the road there, and you have done that brilliantly. So, Jacob, hopefully if you are available, we'd love to have you to conclude the rest of this racing season, because it's only round 1, and it's Talladega. Maybe we've just thrown too much, haven't we? You caught the biggest fish there is, but trust me, there is always a bigger fish at the end of the day, isn't there, in a racing league for the JP Broadcast Network.
Yeah, I mean, there is. I mean, we'll see. Schedule lines up, see if I can jump in here and maybe call a couple more. I don't know if I'll be able to, call, a lot of them, because usually Saturday nights I'm kind of booked up, but this particular Saturday night I was kind of free. And thank you once again, Dean, and everybody over at Racers Elite for inviting me into this right here and getting me over here to, kind of give y'all a hand. But, I mean, this is what Talladega is. This is what the fans love to see. This is why fans tune in for these races at Talladega. I've actually saw a couple of guys that I race with, in public lobbies. They're actually over here seeing me in here. They're like, what is Jake doing? What's up and everything. Well, I mean, if you did stick around, you saw a hell of a race. You saw some great pack racing. You saw some 3-wide. You saw some 4-wide. You saw some wrecks, some big wrecks. You see cars flipping. And you saw a fantastic finish. You saw some drivers out there that give it their all, didn't get out of the gas. They saw that the checkered flag was in their sights, and the one guy that was not to be denied tonight was the number 9 of John Schulenbacher to be able to get the win. Fantastic win for John to get it right here in round 1 here at Talladega.
And you're wondering right now as the race starts, he's starting here in essentially, as you said, P9, and he's going, do you think at this point, like, I'm going to win this race? No, I wouldn't imagine. But then again, I always say the beauty of oval racing is you can win from anywhere. You called it, I called it, and thank you for calling it. And thank you for everybody else for tuning in, because it's been a fantastic racing, and more to come. Jacob, of course, we appreciate your time when you have your time. So there it is. We'll end this broadcast here for the JP Broadcast Network. And James, of course, is the man that puts it all behind the scenes. But, you know, back in those European stars, mate, he needs to sleep. He's got a family. And he does this, 2 to 3 times a day? You know what it's like. And I can't believe you even know half the drivers there, Jacob.
I mean, some of these guys I actually have heard of. I mean, I think I've heard of Jeremy Carter once or twice. I mean, when you run, enough of public races, enough of official races, you see a lot of names. You see a lot of people's names. They stand out to you, whether that's good or bad. Now, none of these guys that I, know here, none of them were because of bad things. They were because of good things. So, these guys right here, I feel like, these guys, they know what they're doing. I feel like this is going to be a fantastic series that these guys have got going on. And obviously, it's like I've said before, a lot of people will sit there and say, oh, well, Talladega's easy. No, it's really not, because you don't see a whole lot of 4-wide racing like you see here at Talladega. So if you're able to hold it straight, especially for the couple of times that they did hold it 4-wide and not wreck, that's saying something right there, because that is very, very hard to do, even for the best drivers, even for guys in NASCAR to hold it 4-wide and not wreck. So these guys put on a fantastic show tonight, and I'm telling you right now, it's all the way up for these guys. Hopefully I'll be able to call a couple more races later on when my schedule kind of lines up for you, Dean, but we'll see what happens, later down the road. But obviously, fantastic race this evening.
And tune in, same place, same network, and same everything for the Races Elite Mix Series. It's actually posted a little bit earlier. You can hit the likes and bells and subscribe there. Get notifications just in case you forget. You know what? If you have to take your kids to dance class or whatever, you're going to know exactly. All right, come on, kids, get home. We've got a race coming up, and we'll have round 2 coming up for you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good night, everybody. Take care.